been here on a Saturday, you could have done a lot of other things, but you're here on a Saturday means you want to learn something. A lot of you are new to web development, you want to become a web developer and don't know where to go. So we are going to solve all those things. We are going to first 15 minutes. I am going to tell you about all which is required, the 3 6 to become a web developer, what is about me, how you are going to get the certificate. Yeah, important thing. A lot of you want the certificate, how you are going to get the certificate, all those things I'm going to tell you. Okay. So let me wait, let me see whether I'm live. Hello, so hello. Okay. Uh, so yeah. So hello, Joyce, Mary. Hello, welcome everyone. So let me see whether I'm going. Hello, all. So let us start. So we have this for a long session every weekend, every Saturday we have, and once in a month we have your 12-hour long workshop also, or workshop you can call it a boot camp, in which we generally cover everything. Okay, so let's get started because we have a lot of things to cover. Today in this thing we are going to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also CSS and JavaScript projects also. Okay, so that is something which we are going to do. Let me share. So those who don't know about me, this is me. My name is Nabindu Vishwas. I am a corporate trainer. I am a React.js teacher. I'm a YouTuber. As you're watching me on YouTube, I've taught more than 3,000 people to start their career in IT. I teach in corporates. I have my own batches also, which keeps on running. I have my physical batches. I have my online batches. I have my YouTube batches because we teach everything on YouTube also. This is about me. If you are new onto the channel, check it out everywhere. Check the channel everywhere, so you will not find a channel like this, like in which we teach everything. Okay, so I have been in the industry for the past 16 years. I have been working in various top companies like JP Morgan, Oracle, and my last job was an associate architect in a company called Innomites. And right now I am a full-time trainer since the past September 2021, and working from my hometown of Bhopal. Here we take physical batches also in 2 locations, and beside that we have online batches also in which all of you can join. Okay, and maybe the link, our next online batch is going to start soon. Nowadays we are having this online batch every month, so next online batch will start from 15th May. This month online batch have already started because on huge demand. What we are doing, we are starting in parallel this online batches every month because we have a percentage we are, have a very good percentage. More than 80% of our students are always placed. Okay, so that is there. And this is about me. This is about my last job. And I'm an author, and those things are also there. I published more than 7 books, and this is I have my YouTube channel. Was my last job in Bangalore. I was an associate architect in my last job. Then IBM I have worked, or Oracle I have worked, JP Morgan I have worked. I started my career with CDAC Bangalore. Okay, so that is about me, and that is about my company. We are a fully registered company, TWD, and you're going to get certificate from a company. We are a fully registered company, and you're going to get certificate from our company. So how you are going to get the certificate? A lot of you are asking about the certificate. So, hi, Cherry, Charan. Hi. So, you're going to get the certificate once you fill the attendance form. So, how you are going to fill the attendance form? I'm going to send you this attendance form, where it's a Google form, which I'm going to send you on the live chat, on the YouTube live chat. We are now only on YouTube. So YouTube live chat, I'm going to send this thing, and you have to fill this attendance form, and there will be 2 attendance form. One will be sent in next 10-15 minutes, and the next attendance form will be sent towards the end at around 6:45. At around 6:45 p.m. IST, it will be sent. Okay, the first attendance form. In the first attendance form, both of them are same, like nothing difference. And once you fill the attendance form, they are Google Forms. We will get all your data. Okay, so you have to fill the email address. Please fill the right email address on which you want the certificate. Then the name. You have to give the name. Then the we are doing so much, so you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are going to see like who have subscribed and not subscribed. Okay, so you have to give the username by which you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. Then the Instagram ID. We have a very good Instagram channel, so you have to like mm, please follow us on that also, and please give on the by what Instagram you have subscribed by your ID. I don't want my ID. I know my ID. Okay. So please, some people feel my ID. I know my ID. So and then your current role, you are either a non-IT professional, professional student, whatever. And your LinkedIn profile. If you have a LinkedIn profile, it's very good. And we are going to tag you. If you have a LinkedIn profile, we're going to tag you. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, please give a LinkedIn profile. Okay. It's very good to have a good LinkedIn profile. Okay. So we'll come to that later on. And then this is the second attendance form, which is almost same, which will be shared later on. So you need to fill both the attendance form. Okay. So before starting with HTML, let me tell something more like uh, what are the three secrets? Like someone was asking me before the class that I'm from a non-IT background, how I can become a I think Joyce was only asking me that how I can he's there in the chat also, how I can become a developer. I am very very much worried. Okay, so that is there are three secrets. If you know these three secrets, you'll never be worried. Okay, even if for those three secrets, actually, I want to tell about like this. You need to don't need to know every other technology out there. Okay, you need to know only four technologies to get any job which you want. One is this HTML, one is CSS, one is JavaScript, and one is React.js. React.js is a must, and to learn React.js, you need the combination of these three things: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Then only you can learn React.js. Okay, so HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React.js. React.js is a JavaScript library. For that, you need HTML and CSS. So we teach all these four things on the channel. These are our main things which we teach on the channel. Why React.js? I will come to that. Why React.js? Okay, let me tell about that. Because React.js is the framework on which all the big web apps are made, from LinkedIn to Facebook to Instagram to anything else which you can see. In fact, this site is also made in React.js with this nice thing like I'm closing and all those things. So everything is made in React.js only, except the Google site, which are made in another amazing framework known as Angular. So this Google form, this is a Google form, docs.google. It is made in Angular. So all the Google things like Google Drive and all those things are made in Angular. But rest of the things are made in React, and that rest is a lot. Okay. So as I told, rest of the things are made in React. Okay. So mind map. Okay. So like there are three secrets to like you learn all these technologies. Then what? So some one of my student was asking like I'm very much scared, like how to get forward, how to be there, even though he's doing a very costly course. Then how to do that? Okay, so not from me. Okay, so there are three secrets. Okay, if you do these three secrets, you can easily become a developer. Okay, so these three secrets you need to do. One is the networking. Networking is very important in today's age. Without networking, it's sometimes very difficult, and you'll always find it like very difficult to get a job. Even the okay, so the thing is that so I will give you now. So I've told that thing, Cherry Charan. Like I just told all these things. I think you have heard that thing. Once I told that thing, please start understanding English a bit. So I told that I will give this Google form in around 5-10 minutes. Then you have to fill it. Okay. So that is there. Okay. One more thing, like I think I have to add it, like you should understand English also. Okay. So that is there. Without that, it's very difficult to get an IT job. Okay. So that is there. So one thing is that networking. So you need to do networking. You should understand you should be active in LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook group. These are the things which you should be there. Especially LinkedIn. I'm quite big on LinkedIn. So I know about it a lot. And LinkedIn has provided my career with the growth which it has required, and I have become a full-time entrepreneur, full-time like I'm teaching a full-time trainer. Okay, that is there. Then the daily actions you have to like code 2 hours daily. So some one of my friend was asking uh he was very scared. So he is very scared because if you code 2 hours, you will not be scared. Whatever course you do a 1 lakh rupee course also, you have to code 2 hours daily after the course. Then only you can learn all the things. Okay. Then challenges. If you are like if you dare want to take it to the next level, participate in some of the challenges. One of my student, today again he like this 100 days of code challenge is a very very tough challenge. Okay, so today only I got the notification from him. So where is this? Okay, so see, so this is known as the 100 days of code challenge. Last time I couldn't complete 100 days of code because of the time constraint. Now I am starting on day one. So what is this 100 days of code challenge? So 100 days of code challenge is considered as the toughest challenge on planet Earth, because you have to do something substantial for 100 days continuous, and then you have to post on this hashtag. And there are some other rules are there also, if you search it, it is a very very popular challenge, 100 days of code challenge. Okay, if you complete it, like your interview has been taken from top company, top publications in US. So, because so it might be seems like very easy, but it is not very easy. Okay, so 100 days of code challenge, this is the thing, and this is the person created. This is a very awesome coding challenge. And so people think, okay, 100 days continuous coding, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. India, it's a big deal. Like I have one student, he did it continuously for 45 days. On the 45th day, he have to go to a wedding ceremony. So how did he code it in the 45th day? He was traveling on a bus and he coded on the bus, and then he posted. So that is the commitment. That's how you can complete that thing. Then also it is very difficult. Actually, I completed it, and I got featured on a lot of magazines in the US. So because it is very complicated. Okay, it is very tough. Like people cannot code for 100 days continuous. You cannot take a 1 day break. If you take a 1 day break, gone. Like my this student, he took like some problem was there, gone, gone on the 68th day. So he's trying again. Hope he is successful. Okay, so that is there. And so okay, okay, so that is there. And now we're going to start with HTML, but for that I'm going to give you all the attendance form. Because all of you are asking the attendance form. Okay, so this is the attendance one, like this, attendance one, and please fill the attendance one, and we'll give the attendance to. It will be given later on. Attendance to. Please fill the attendance form, and the certificates you'll get by Sunday evening. You'll get the certificates. Okay, so now let's get started with HTML. Okay, so a lot of HTML CSS folders are there. Okay, so no problem. So HTML. So why I'm like what is required in HTML? So we are not going to cover everything in a bit detail because we don't have that much time. We have longer sessions also on our channel, although we are planning to change it a bit. But then also we have longer sessions on our channel, longer your certification courses are also there on the channel. You can always check it out. So that is there. So people, please fill the attendance form. I cannot see anyone have filled it yet. So please start filling the attendance form. Okay. So for development, we need something called VS Code. Yeah, and yes, laptop is required. A lot of you come back to me and say that I don't have a laptop. A laptop is required. Okay, without a laptop, it is like very, very difficult to start coding. Okay, so you cannot code it on a mobile. It will be really tough. Please buy a second-hand laptop if a laptop is difficult. Okay, so this VS Code is a very lightweight code editor which you can download it. Like it's a totally free on a Mac or a Windows, anything. It is totally free. Download it, and then when it opens, it will open something like VS Code. Okay, so it will open like this. It will open like this. There's some issue is coming in my VS Code from sometime. Maybe I have to like Okay. Mm, okay. Some issues coming. So what I have to do now, like this issue, I can solve it only through hmm, command line. I don't wanted to. I generally don't tell this command line to the user ahead, but it's okay. So like I will tell it. Okay. So you can do it on like Windows also open the terminal, but generally you don't need to do this thing. But my VS Code is having some issues, so that's why I'm doing it. So I will CD and open this folder like HTML basics which I have created. I will drag it here and it will be open like this basics this folder. Then there is a command known as code dot. You don't need to do these things. My VS Code is having a problem. The most easy way is to open is like just drag the folder in VS Code. Open the VS Code and just like drag it like this. Okay, that is most easy way. Maybe it will open now a new window. New window. Okay, so it is opening a new one. I'll show it this way. So when VS Code opens, it will open something like this. Okay, so now what you need to do with the HTML basic folder which I have created outside, you just take it and drag it here, and it will open it like this. Okay, so this is the most easy way. Let me take it here and let me open it here. Okay, so as I've told, we'll start with HTML first. We'll start with HTML first. So let us start with HTML. So HTML is known as hypertext markup language. It is not a programming language, it's a markup language, and it is used to mainly prepare the structure of the code. It is a structure of the whole site. Okay, so the structure, it's a known as templating language because it consists of different tags which we are going to learn now. So in the HTML basics, the folder I have created, I have to open the index.html. Index.html I'll open, and then here, so this index.html I have created. Now to have more space, I will click here. So now I'll have more space. So what is the benefit of index.html? If those who know, earlier what used to happen, we used to like do all these things in something known as a notepad plus plus. Okay, so we used to do in that. Okay, so now I will do a not not here, and then tab. So no need to zoom this thing like website I generally don't zoom. Okay, so this VS Code I will zoom because website if I zoom the styling will be changed. Okay, so that is there. So VS Code I will definitely zoom. So this not I have done, and not and so what is the benefit of VS Code? VS Code, the benefit is that uh, it has got a lot of shortcuts. Okay, so index.html I have written because every HTML file has the HTML extension. So not and the tab I'll do, and this will create me the basic structure of a HTML file. So what does this basic structure of the HTML file means? So this basic structure of the HTML file, it has got some things like, as I have told, HTML is a templating language. It has got greater than, less than sign are there. So first thing it is telling, it is a doc type HTML. Doc type HTML means like it is like it is a HTML version 5. So HTML has got different versions. Doctype HTML means it is HTML version 5. HTML was released in the year 1993, and since that versions are released in different years. So in 2015 version 5, which is the latest version, it was released, and this means HTML version 5. Then this HTML is there, which is starting and ending. So lang is en. So it is English. Language is English, and then here we have like head and the body. Okay, so HTML document consists mainly the head and the body, and HTML document is something which you are seeing it here. Okay, so here, like this head will mainly consist of this part, but the body is the main thing. Whichever you seeing here, this is because of the body. So head has got one more thing, which is known as this meta tag, and this title, which we are soon going to change. It is like HTML will be here, and this meta tag is there. Okay, so this meta tag is there, and this meta tag, what does this meta tag mean? Meta tag is something related to do with Google. Okay, meta tag is something to related to do with Google, because meta tag is used for the SEO of a website. SEO means search engine optimization. It is related to the search engine optimization. Okay, so what is this search engine optimization? Means every website have got a SEO. Like the more the SEO, it will be more likely to feature on the front page of Google. So in this meta tag, you can it is mainly used by digital marketer to have some good keywords and other thing, so that it features on the first page of the Google. So this meta tag is used for that. Okay, so title is I am given in the HTML, and this meta tag is for that. And body is the main thing in which you have different thing. So there is a body, there is a h1 tag is there. The HTML is all about learning about different tags, h1 and all the other things. So h1 is known as a heading tag. Okay, so heading one, like this there are 6 heading tags: h2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 6 heading tags are there, which I have created, and these are known as heading tags. Heading tags. Okay, so this one is heading tag, and why I have written it here like this, because I will put it as a comment. So you can put it as a comment, and you can do a command and backslash. Or control and backslash on a Windows. Okay, sorry, I was using a Mac, so I told that thing. Control and backslash. So this is known as a comment. So comments are something which will never shown to the end user. So what is shown to the end user? I'm seeing this thing. Okay, so if you want to see this thing, this document, where I can see this document. So this HTML basic is something which I have created, and then I will right click. I will have it like actually I will open it in Chrome only. Chrome is much better. Okay. Okay. So I will right click. If I double click on it, it will open in my default browser, which is like the Safari, which I don't like. Open with Safari default. I'll open it with Google Chrome and see how it has been shown. So it has been shown like this. This HTML which I have written is coming here. Heading 1 to heading 6 are coming here. And congrats, you have created your first website. Okay, having showing a lot of headings. Okay, so this is what the headings are all about. So now the headings are okay. So now let us these headings are used in different contexts, like something will have more headings, something that after that, so it is like that. Okay, so then after that we have a use paragraph tag. Paragraph tag we have control and backslash paragraph tag. Again going to see. So as I told, HTML is all about learning about different tags. Paragraph tag will have a p, and then I will have something here. Okay. But the problem is that I just closed the thing from which I can take the paragraph. I cannot take anything like it is always look bad if I do like this. Okay. Never do it like this. Okay. People want to do put anything, people do like this. I also used to do like this, but this is not good. Okay. Either you take a real thing, or there is another way. There is a text known as lorem ipsum. LOREM. You type okay. I think the caps got on. LOREM type, and again it's a VS Code feature, and type the tab. This text is known as a lorem ipsum text. Lorem ipsum text is a very old kind of text. It is not exactly English, but it looks a lot like English. And this lorem ipsum text is like 200 years old. It is from there when the printing press was there. From that time it was there. The time the printing press was there, it is from that time. Okay, so that is that. This is known as a lorem ipsum. If I save it, but I'm not able to see it. P have saved it, but where is the paragraph? So you cannot see it until you come here and do a refresh. So this is the pain. If every time I have to come here and do a refresh, okay, then only I can see the latest changes in the document. So it is not a good thing. So what the solution to it? The solution to it is that um, uh, there is a like there are a lot of extensions in VS Code. Extension are those small program which different developers, open source developers create. Okay, so there is an extension called live server. And like we search for live, we will find this extension known as live server, which is like a very big extension. Like it has got more than 3 crore downloads. Okay, so by this retweak there, you install it, and extension installation is very easy. Just to install it and it will get installed. So that is there. And then what will happen now? I will get access to something as live server. If I right click and open with live server, I can open it, or also from go live, I can open it from here also. So I'll open it from here, go live. So it opened somewhere. It opened in actually it opened in my uh, default browser. Okay, so this is there. Okay. Some people are telling that they are not getting their attendance link shared on the YouTube channel. Hope you have all got it. Okay, so it is way too much clickable. Please, okay, let me see. Yeah, it is clickable. That's why people are filling this attendance. So those who are telling that it is not clickable and all, see, people have filled this attendance. There are 11 responses are there. So people are filling this. Please don't say like, maybe you check your internet connection. There will be some problem. Maybe if you want it, like I can like, let me do one thing. I have made the attendance link available on the chat, like there. So you can see it. It will be there for some time. Okay, so that is okay. So please type it by hand. Like it is there on the live chat only. Please take it from there. And attendance one, I have shared it there. Okay, so now this live chat I've added, and it has given me some weird kind of thing. This is known as a local host. So what's the benefit of this thing? So benefit of this thing is that if I have another paragraph like this a paragraph, maybe again a lorem I will take. Lorem have got some very good feature, like you can like do a lorem 10 and it will create a smaller lorem. Okay, so let me go back here, and if I save it again, we know the same problem. It is not there. But if I come here, see, it was already there. Okay, let me show again. If I remove this one, it's already there. I'll come back, it is already. So this is like amazing. The auto refresh happens here. With this, the auto refresh happens, and this is how it is there. This lorem ipsum is, and this live server is very useful. Okay, so the next topic which we are going to see is like some of the tags here are known as your inline element, and some of the tags here are known as a block level element. So what are these block level elements? So this like this h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6 are known as block level element, and this paragraph tag and this are known as the inline. This paragraph tag is also block level element. Only some of them are inline element. So why they are block level element? Because each of them is coming in its own line. Each of them is coming in its own line. This is coming in its own line. So that's why they are known as a block level element. Each of them is coming in its own line. So this h2 to h6 could have come in one line, but each of them is coming in on line. Okay, and this could have come here, but this is coming in the next line. Okay, so they are known as a block level element. Some of them are inline element. Especially some tags, like the next tag which we are going to learn is known as a anchor tag. So I will come here and do a link tag like this, and control and backslash, and then a f, and I will have it two times. Okay, I'll show two link tags, and one I will write it as so. So these are two of my sites. Okay, so I'll put one more thing here, which I will tell later on. Target equal to underscore blank, I'll say, and I will save it. So we are going to use it like the live server only from now onwards. So I will close it. So see, first thing is that the link tag is a inline element because two link tags are coming in the same line. So even I have like a lot of them, they will come in the same line, in line. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing is that why I have taken the target equal underscore blank in this thing. And what is a link tag? Link tag means whatever I've typed this in the href, it opens there. So if I click on this twd, it will open my site. Okay, I open my site here, and this is my site. It is opened here. Okay, so that is there. And now the other thing is that if I go back here and do this dreams tw, this is my another site. It is regarding my physical batches. uh See how it is opened. Clicked here, it opened, but it opened in a different site. It opened in a different site, different tab. That is the main thing. It will open in a different tab. So if you have a target equal underscore blank, it will open in a different tab. If you don't have this, it will open in the same tab. And it is always like advisable to open it in a different tab. Okay. So this is about the link tags. Okay. So that is there. Now we are going to learn about some more tags, which is like list tags. There are two kind of list tag. One is a UL and here li this item one. Three, four, five. Item 1 to item 5, it is like this. And then UL means unordered list. So this is unordered list. So this dot 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 are created. And there is something like this is known as a OL. OL means ordered list. It will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be created like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is known as a OL. Okay. So these are the two kinds of lists. Now the other thing is that we'll learn about a very important tag, which is known as a form tag. So what are these form tags? Form tags. Form tags are a group of tags which are actually very important. Because form tags are the tags through which, like someone that they asked me like how to take the user, how to take the input from the user in this. So we take the input from the user in HTML, CSS JavaScript projects with the form tag. So how we will use the form tag here? Let us see that. So here the form tag, everything okay. Before the form tag we have come a bit down, so I'm going to tell two more tags. One tag is known as hr means horizontal root. It will create a straight line. And one is known as a br is known as a break row. It will create a bit of space. Uh, in fact, my form tag I will put it inside this hr and br like this. It will, and inside this I'll create my form tag. Form tag. Okay. Form tags. Form tag is as I told, it is used to take the user input, and it is used at a well almost every big web apps, like from Amazon to LinkedIn to anywhere it is used. You go give an multi-question answer, question answers. At that time also it will take it. So everywhere it is taken. Everywhere where the user input has been taken, a form tag is been used. So like this in form tag, we as I've told, like we have an input, we have some input boxes, and input boxes are always in they always comes in with a label. Okay, so a label will be there, and it will be connected with the input. Okay, label for name, name, and input type text, name equal to name. Okay. So, and there is one more thing which is known as ID. I will tell whatever what all these things are. Then there is another label for age, age, and input type is number, name equal to age, and ID equal to age. So what are all these things? I will tell. First thing is that input type text means a box in which I can write something. Input and number is something like a I can write the number, and I get this up and down also, so I can increase it like this. Okay, so this is like both of those things. And one more thing here is that okay, hello. Okay, one more thing here is that everything is a inline here. Okay, notice that label, input, and everything is a inline. Okay, so that is the thing, is that is a problem also. Okay, everything is inline. So, but what is this? What is this label, and how is it connected to the input? Okay, so the and whatever I've written in the label, like his name is coming here. Whatever written in the label, the age is coming here. So input boxes are always in their they always comes in pair with the input box. Okay, label and input are always a pair. Label and input are always a pair. Okay, so like this, there is a for is there, so they're a pair. But how do like the language know they're a pair? So there is a for tag and there is a corresponding ID tag. They should contain the same thing. Here it is name, here it should be name. Here is it age, it is age. And what is this name then? Name is something which we are going to see. See this data which I have written here, this is of no use to the front end. This data is actually sent to the back end. So like that, we are creating a registration form right now. Just like when you go to Facebook and log into Facebook for the first time, there is a registration form which you need to fill. We're creating something like that. Okay, so that you have to fill. So when you fill that registration form, then what happens? That data is taken to the Facebook backend, and backend how it's stored and all these things also we teach, but that is not a correct time to teach it right now. So that is there, and so the front end is mainly used to take the data, but to the backend when it sends, it doesn't need to know that whether this is a text box, this is the input type number or something. It just need to have the data like name equal to Nabendu, age equal to 40. It will require that thing. Okay, so that is there. Now I will come here and do a break row here because I want it to be different line. Okay, so I'll put a one break row here. It is still very close. I'll put another break row. Now it is okay. So now I will always put a break row because I want it to a bit of like this. And we're not learning CSS yet. Once you learn CSS, it will be much more beautiful. Okay. So the next thing which we are going to learn is we are going to learn all the major types which are there in form. So next thing which we are going to learn is a very important thing which is known as a text area. Let us known as a text area. What is this text area? It is multiple line input boxes, but it is taken in a different way. So I'll have this message, message, and then have a text area. Name is message, ID is message, and calls and rows are something I will delete. and it will be like this. Okay, text area is like it is not an input type, but it is text area is a multi-line input text box. And one more thing is there, text area are self like not a self closing like input. Input is a self closing. A lot of tags are self closing like BR and HR. This is not a self closing. You have to have it like this. Okay, text area. And what is this all about? This is a multi-line. Like this is good. Like it's a multi-line, and this is very common where this is very common in Facebook, Instagram, all the things where you have a big text box where you write your post. So this is text area is used at that time. Okay, so that is there. Now the next thing which we are going to do is a beer is a drop down. Again, this is very popular in sites like Amazon and all those things. When you have a drop down from where you choose the multiple products and all those things. So let us have a label and color and CLR color and select name is color option value is red color yellow green color blue color. This is a drop down, and here also like I can select anything, and it is looking not good because I'm not because the beauty comes from CSS. HTML is only the structure. Okay, so that is it. And this option, this value is again very important. For an ID, we know that they are a pair, but a name equal to the value will go. So when it will go to the backend, we're soon going to see how it will go from the front end. So you'll see that color equal to red will go. Color equal to red, color will not go. Whatever you choose, like in this case, color equal to pink will go. Okay. So this is the things. Now there are some more things, which two more important things which I want to say. One is a checkbox and one is a radio box. Again, they are very, very important. You go to Amazon.com, you'll always find those things. Okay, like BR, and now I'll have a BR and another BR, and then H4, and what do you own and have? And then I'll have a input type check box and name equal to vehicle one, value equal to bike, ID equal to bike. Okay. Notice that I'm using the input first and then the label. You can do that thing. So label will come according to that. For is bike and bike and vehicle two, car, 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 car. Save it. It is coming like this. Okay, so that is there. And now check boxes, I can choose either one or I can choose both of them. So that is known as a checkbox. That is a checkbox. Okay, I can choose one or I can choose both of them in the checkbox. Okay, so that is there. That is known as checkboxes. But in checkboxes, there is one thing. Both of these checkboxes are different from each other. So like this, if I have this like this name vehicle one equal to bike, a vehicle two equal to car, it will go both of them. This name is very important here. Now we'll see another thing which is known as radio box. Radio boxes are also known as radio group. They're very important when you have to take only one input from the user. Like they cannot use like this multiple input. Okay, so like this H4 uh, gender I'll write, and then input type is radio name equal to gender, value equal to male, id equal to male, and label or equal to male and male. So, and this is female, 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 other, 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 other. Okay. So like this, it is there. So now gender, if I choose male, it will be there. If I choose female, it will change from male to female. And if I choose other, it will be like this. So this is what about the radio box. Radio box here, one thing is common, like name is gender, name is same. Here the name was vehicle 1 and vehicle 2. Because radio box, everything, it is known as radio box group. So everything will go as one. So that is there. Now we have done with this form, but how can you submit it? So to submit it, I'll have another up here. Here we'll have a button. Okay, there can be an input type submit button or a button of type submit. Okay, inside a form, button, uh, button, we have a SUBMIT. So one more thing, we can have a button tag also outside a form. We can have a button of submit, but whenever we have a button inside a form, we have to write here type equal to SUBMIT, submit, type equal to submit, I have to write inside a form. We have a button type submit. Okay, so what is the difference between both of them? See, I'm clicking here a normal button tag, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. Okay, it is just like going, nothing is happening. But when I click this, something will happen, and for that something, let us fill all these things. And this is a special thing, like this is for your submitting, like and then I will write this is good, and then I will write here yellow, green color. I choose green, bike and car, choose mail. And then when I will click on this submit, notice at two places. Okay. One, notice what is happening here, and one, notice that it will refresh. So notice both of those things. So I'll click on this submit. See now, two things happened. First, it submitted something here. Second, then this thing got refreshed. Okay. So let us now see, cut it and go it here. Now I will actually paste it here and let us see what was actually submitted. So name equal to tomatoes. So name, because that was I have given. This name gone, age, this age gone, then this message has gone. Uh Message equal to this plus good whatever. Color equal to green has gone. Okay, so as I was telling, like color equal to whatever is there in the value, it will go. Then this radio box, no, vehicle 1 and vehicle 2 will go different in this check box. Vehicle 1 and vehicle 2 will go different, and this radio box will go as one. Gender equal to male, it will go like this. Okay, so this is how this is done. Okay. So I will save it. Now this is done. Now the last thing in a HTML thing is a image tag. We'll do a image. So image, for image, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a images folder, and then I will go to unsplash.com and splash. Okay, maybe this one I will take. Okay. I will download a medium. Why Unflash is the place from where you can freely get images, royalty free images. Okay, that is the main thing. So this is, then I will take it and drag it and put it in the images folder. So that is how I have put it. Now there are two ways to show images. Okay, so what we're seeing here, the image tag. So image, and it is a very important. Images are very important in the website. So there are two ways to show the image tag. One is that like ING SRC. So one way is to give the image which we have stored here the path to that. In the source, we have to give the path. So I have created a folder called images, and inside the unsplash.jpg, this is the image of a stairs, AIRS. Why in alt tag I'm taking stairs, I will tell soon. And then the next one is this. Okay, it is a lamp. So next one is like go to any image and copy image address and put it in the source, and then it is lamp is like this. Okay, lamp is like this, and save it. Now if you go back here, you see both the images are been shown, but my image like which I have stored it was very huge, so it is showing like this. So I don't have many things to fix it in the HTML, but I do have the width. So width equal to, I will make it as maybe 600. Save it. So now, okay, width is now done. Okay. So this is how both of them are shown. This is how we show the image. So the other thing is that okay. So why do I have this like alt? Why do I have this alt? Okay. So I have this alt because this alt is generally shown if somehow the image is not able to show. Alt tag is shown. So suppose either this and it happens a lot when your internet connection is not there. Okay. So maybe I will make it as a Z and save it and like make this wrong. See the lamp, now lamp is been shown and a broken image is been shown. So this is how we show it. Okay, so this is all about the HTML. So now the next thing which we are going to do is a CSS. Okay, the CSS and CSS. Let us create a new thing. Like, why to use it here? Although in CSS also you need very much HTML. So I'll create a new folder like CSS Basics. And then here index.html. This is there. And CSS I'll go a bit faster because we don't have time. So CSS. So one of the major way, because we have to do one project also, and then after that JavaScript will start. Okay, JavaScript will be taken by another of a teacher known as Hari Prasad. He will start it from 5. Okay, so in CSS is like by default everything is quite black and white, but with CSS everything will become very beautiful. So H1 CSS. Yes, I see. Yes. So one of the best way to open this with Go Live. Okay. So those who are not able to fill the attendance form, please tell it on the chat. So don't tell it ping me on WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp, because live chat, there is something known as a live chat. You tell it there. Okay. So people are pinging me on WhatsApp. Okay. So see, I think most of some people are not even able to see like what is the live chat. So I'm telling it from where? I'm telling it to you from a browser. If you're watching it from the YouTube, it's a bit different. YouTube, it's a bit YouTube from the mobile, it's a bit different. But if you're watching it from here, like see, this is the live chat. Live chat is coming so fine. Okay, skip it. Live chat is there. For me, it is live chat is showing here. If I make it a bit big, and this is your screen. So this is the live chat. Live chat always will show here. So this is the form, and maybe I will paste it again. Just fill it. Okay. So this is the live chat on mobile. There is a live chat button is there. You have to click there, then the live chat will be shown. Okay. So I cannot help more than that. So please fill the attendance form if you have not filled it yet. Okay. So this CSS basics I have done, and now here. So the best way to, there are certain ways, but since we are going to go a bit faster because we have to complete a project also. So what is the best way to take CSS is to have a separate file, and that file you can name as style style.css, although you can name it differently also. Style.css, cascading styles. It is all about adding style to the project. Style to the project. Okay. So that is there. Now I'll go here, and it is okay. Let's try. This is okay, but I have to link this. So how do I link it? I link it with the link tag. There's the link tag, link CSS. I'll go, and this style.css will come. I'll save it. Now I can style it like this. H1 is there. I need to style this H1. Okay. So H1, I can go here in the style thing, and I can write a H1. Do a like this. So H1 tag I'm choosing. Then I will make a, there are different properties in CSS. I'll try to teach all the main one. So background color is, so it will give me different options. Okay. So different options it will give me. So maybe I'll choose this aquamarine. Okay. And background color is aquamarine. Then we have one more property like mm, padding. It is known as padding. Padding means the space around this element is known as padding. So you can give certain things like it is in percentage or in pixel and all those things. So I will give it in 1% maybe, or I will give it. So see, this padding is all the way around it. Okay, so this is like this. And now the next thing is maybe I'll have a h3. Just is learn CSS. Okay. Now, and let's have a paragraph tag also. Paragraph is Laura. So I have all these things. Okay. So in CSS, as it has been said, like this is how you do it. And now, okay. So let me tell something more here also. Maybe I will do all these things. Okay. So I can select the whole body also, and let's give it a good background color. But always like this background color, you cannot give it like these names and all. So I'm going it a bit faster because we don't have time. Like I cannot give a name like always like this beach or something like this. Okay. So but it is a good name. Okay, let me keep it. So other thing is that H3, let me give it a color. Color property is there. So what is this color property? Color property is like maybe I give it a dark blue. Save it. So it is dark blue. But there are some other ways also to give the color. One way is like, and you can give it through a color picker. And that color picker, the best place is to find it from here. So because there are very less color names, you can find it from here. This color picker is there in VS Code. So you go here and you can find it from here. Like maybe I don't want it a dark color, right? I wanted this. But there are three ways. See, RGB. This is one of the way to give the color. So RGB is there, and then I will select it. So there are millions of colors. So I'm not going to much detail about what is this RGB. So this is there. Now save it. So it will become like this color. Okay, and then background color. Maybe background color. I will give it light pink, but I will change it. Okay, so there are different ways, and one of the most popular ways is to give the hexadecimal color code. So this is the hexadecimal color code is there, and I will make it a bit yellow, and like this, and like a light yellow. I will, okay, yellow is bad because already we have a yellow. Let me make it a bit blue. So then I will do it and see, it is blue. Let me have a bit of padding here. Padding is again 1%. Save it and it will be shown like this. So this is how it is done. This is another way, which is known as hexadecimal. And then I'm going to paragraph. And this paragraph will give the color as dark magenta. But again, I'm not going to keep it dark magenta. I'm going to go here, and there is hexadecimal, and there is one more thing which is known as HSL, hue, saturation, and lightness. Okay, again, this thing I'm going to make it a bit darker color. Maybe this. Now put it, and it will be like this, a dark color. Okay, so this all these things are there. Now there is something called a font family in CSS. So let us understand that font family. So font family is generally given by FF font family, and we have certain font family like Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. So there are a lot of font family which are inbuilt in the browser, like Arial, Helvetica, Sans Serif. These are inbuilt in the browser. I will save it. See, it changed a bit because suddenly the font got changed to Arial. Body means all the fonts got changed to Arial. But why I have given like this Helvetica and Sans Serif also? So I have given this Helvetica and Sans Serif also because what happens here, like first font is the one which will be taken. Now the next fonts like Helvetica and Sans Serif, this will be the fonts which are like known as the fallback fonts. So why I have given the fallback fonts? Will that Arial not be loaded? No, it is not like that. So the thing is that the CSS is created by a committee in US. Okay, but and the browsers are created by the giant companies in the world. Like the Chrome is created by Google, Firefox is created by Firefox, Safari is created by Apple, Edge is created by Microsoft. They are like the companies which runs the world. So sometimes what happens, in some browser something will run, some browser something will not run. Some browser maybe the Arial will run, and in some other browser the Arial will not run. Then what will happen in that, the it will go to the fallback, which is Helvetica. Actually, this all will run because they're all like a web safe font, but there are a lot of fonts which are not web safe, because the next fonts which you are going to learn, or they're not web safe fonts. But then also there are a lot of possibilities like they're there. So since the start of web, like it is like 30 years have gone past 1993. It is 2000, 2023. Like the 30 years since the web was created, CSS was released. Okay, so these fonts were there, but then around like 10 years back, Google came out with something very nice, and those fonts are known as Google fonts. Okay, so Google as always gives a lot of free products. So this is also free, Google fonts. So fonts.google.com is there, and I already have something. I'll remove it. Okay. So instead of this, what we are going to use, we are going to use some of the Google fonts. In maybe in the paragraph, I'm going to use some of the Google font. So Google font are nice, like you can see, browse, you can see some very nice font, which are not possible in the normal thing. Okay, so maybe I was searching for some cursive writing. Okay, so this is like a cursive writing font. I always like cursive writing fonts, so I'll go here and I will choose some of them. So okay, you have to choose the sizes. Select regular 400, semi-bold 600, and semi-bold 400. Then I will get it here. Okay, and then I have to go to this import. This is how we use Google font, an external font, and then you have to import from here. I'll put it here. But I don't want it to be done in the complete thing. I want only the paragraph to be changed. Maybe for this, the one section, the paragraph, I will make it a bit bigger. Lorem 100. So now, so as I told, the whole font, let it be Arial Helvetia. But in this paragraph, I want the font family to be, this is known as a dancing script. So Google font, you always have to give the this thing, and then the next, and it is always advisable to give a fallback fonts here. Okay, so which is obvious. So I'll save it and see. Now what happened? My paragraphs has been changed like this. Okay, so that is how it is there. And one more thing I will do, I'll do a font size. There is a thing known as font size, and the best way is to give it to pixel 20 pixel. Pixel is the smallest unit of measurement. By default, everything is like have a different pixel. So 20 pixel I'll give, save it. So it has become a bit bigger. Then I want it to be bold. So there is another property known as font weight. It is known as bold. If you want to learn CSS in a better way, we have a 4-hour CSS class, like which happened previous week only. So please watch it out. Not previous to previous week it happened. Okay, and that was also certification course. Okay, so like this, it is showing like the bold, like this, like this. It is showing. Okay, paragraph tag bold. It is showing like this. Okay, so now that is done. Now the next thing before moving forward, we are going to do is like we're going to do actually a project after this because we don't have much time. So we're going to do a project after this. But before that, I want to tell one more thing here. And that is like we generally don't give the styles like this body, H1, S3P, and all those things. We have two other units of measurements, and they are known as not units of measurement, two other things. One is known as classes, and one is known as class, and one is known as ID, that we put in a H1 and something, and then we give it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, one thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to wrap this whole thing in a div. So now what is a div? I have not told about div. Div is like an HTML element which is used to have, it's a block level element which is used to have create a section kind of a thing. So that is div. See, I put everything in a div. Maybe I will make it a bit small. It is way too big. Okay. So it is okay. So here div is there, and in this div, so suppose I have another div. Yeah, in this div I have a BR, and this one will have, don't have this, and this one, no, we have the same thing. I have two divs, and I want these two divs to have some same common styling. So how can I have those things? Okay, and as I've told, we generally don't name anything with this like H1 H2. Suppose this two div needed to be a common styling, and there is some third, fourth, fifth div also. So I cannot like use the div; it will be applied to everything. So what I can do, I can go here and give a class equal to anything, like container is a good name. Container I'll give, and I will give is also a class of container. Okay. Now what to do? Now both of them I have given container. Now what I'm going to go? I'm going to go here and this body. This container is a class. It has to be taken by dot container. I'll do classes always have to be taken with a dot, and then I will make the background color as light, maybe light salmon is a good color. Light salmon. See, both of them have become the light salmon. It should have some padding also. So padding is 10 pixel. It is 10 pixel. So this is like this. It has been done. Okay. So like this it has been shown. So see, this same styling has been applied to both of them. So this is known as like classes. So there is one more thing which is known as the ID. So IDs are generally used when you want to target something specific. See, in both of them there is a P. So suppose I want to target this second P, how I will use. So classes are something which you can use like hundreds and millions of times also. The ID is something which you have to use only one time. So one is this ID equal to, I'll do it as second P. I'll write it as second P. Okay, save it. Then we'll see. Go here. I second P. Then so second P I want it to be shown in a different way. So I'll go here and do a font family. This time it will be like normal one, Arial, and it will be normal. The color will be like maybe a yellow. I don't know how it is. Yellow, and it is okay. Yellow is not looking good because this is light and yeah. So now it is totally different. See how I can target only one thing with this second P. Okay, so that is there. And now actually we are going to so as I've told, there are lot of things which we need to cover. So like if you uh, but I'm not going to cover much more than this because we're going to do a project now. So CSS is okay, like basics of CSS is okay. If you go to my site and like to go here and you see like we are done this, we do a lot of live. So React also we did, and CSS also we did it. So this 4-day CSS is like a very good thing. Like you go through it, I'll give this playlist. Okay, so maybe I'll give this playlist. So in that, it's more than 4 hours of content is there, and I cannot cover everything in 1 hour. Okay, so this is more than 4 hours of content. So in this you will be able to learn about something called flexbox also. So flexbox is something which is like very important flexbox and grid. Okay, so I will give this thing CSS playlist. Okay, so go through this and complete it, and you'll learn about Flexbox and Grid also, which are like very important to create popular sites. And nowadays it is very important. And I'm going to create a site using that now, and let us do that. And yeah, I will. correct it. And one of the best way to learn, like practice your CSS is like you open a new window. Is there is a site known as frontendmentor.io. So this is one of the best place to practice the CSS. And what happens here? You got get a lot of challenges. Okay, there are a lot of challenges in this site. You go and you try to CSS seems easy, but it is not that easy. You need to do a lot of practice to be good in CSS, or it is even difficult than the JavaScript and React combined. Okay, so because if you see all these things, you will be worried how I will create this thing. But once you practice, you will be able to create all these things. So this side in the here there will be a lot of complex things. So you create the newbies, all the newbies you complete. Newbies are like the one which are the very easy one. Newbies you complete. Okay, so that is there. You complete the newbies. So if you complete all of these things, you'll be very easy. So, but that for that you need Flexbox and Grid both, and both of those things we have taught in our channel. So now I'm going to do a site from here. I will tell you how you can do a site from here and why this site is so popular. For card features section. So I'm going to do this 4 card features section, and this is something which we have to create. And this is how real developers works. Okay. So I will visit this challenge thing, and then I will get this download starter file. Okay, so it has been downloaded. Now I'll drag it here. Now let us see what they have given us. And why I'm saying this is like a very important site. The thing is that they gives us the way in which a real developer works. So in real companies, what happens? Designers are different than a developer. So designer will design something like this, like a design, and they will give it to us. So Prevenian fire, Prevenian. Why am I opening the terminal? Okay. What designer will give? Designer will design this thing. They have got their own tools and give it to us developers, and then us developer have to create this thing. Okay, so like this is the desktop view, and this is the mobile view. So we are going to create both of them, desktop view and mobile view. Okay, so desktop design, this is something which we have to create. So designer will give us this much only. HTML CSS we have to prepare. Okay, so this is how it works. They will give us the color, they will give us the font size, they will give us the images. So they have some images, they will provide us all those things. They provide us the text and all those things, but all the styling with the CSS you have to do, which is the most complicated works. Okay, so like this index.html, if I open, there are two important files here. Okay, one is this index.html, and the other is like this style guide. So this style guide, these two are the very important files. Style guide, everything is written like how we have to complete it, and index.html is like the thing in which we have all the data, but they're not given us much. So here in the style I will go, and then save it. Then I will open with live server. If you see, they have given us nothing, and they expect us to make this out of the text. So let us do this thing. And so how do we do project like this? The first thing is not the CSS actually. The first thing is always like how do we create this project? What will be the thinking about the HTML first. Okay, so in this project we can see like this is one section and this is another section. These two sections needed to be created. So first we will do the thing like this. Okay, so this maybe this is a header tag. So what is a header tag? Header tag is the known as a semantic element. Like you can learn more about it, and it is like a div only, a semantic element. So header tag is will have like this much. Okay, then we'll have a H1 here. This H1 will be having the reliable, efficient delivery. Actually, both of these things are H1 and powered by technology. And then P will be there. Inside this P, you will have this thing like this. Then we will have this. Okay, so if I save with this thing, you see that we'll start getting some structure. Now the next thing is that this thing is whole thing I'll put it in a container, and then this four boxes I will create this four boxes. Okay, so you can see this team builder, supervisor, team builder, karma, calculator. We have the data here, and even we have the images all. Okay, so the images are also which they have provided us. These are the images which they have provided. So we'll go here and do a div dot container, div dot container, and then div dot box. We'll have four boxes actually, and each of the box will have a h3, a p, and a image tag. So these three things will have, each of the boxes will have this thing. So we have four boxes. Low giving. Okay, so these four boxes will have. Now put everything at the right place, like this supervisor. Okay, so this is not a place to get solve your interview round things. So we're on a tight schedule here. Okay, so I don't even know what solvatic is. Okay, so this is not a doubt solving session. This is like this. Okay, and I don't even know what is solvatic. Okay, solvatic is a company. How can I say like what you should prepare? So you should know that much HTML, CSS, and that. And the best thing is that we have a interview series also. I don't know what they will ask. Okay, so we have an interview series so in our YouTube channel. You can go through that interview series for front-end engineers, and like there is, I don't know what they will ask. Yeah, so let's see. I don't know, you're giving it for only HTML and CSS. So in our channel, in the videos, if you go, you'll find the HTML, CSS interview question, JavaScript interview question, two JavaScript interview question, two React.js interview question, and React Hooks interview question. So if they're all going to ask all those things, you should prepare all these things. So we have all these things covered on our channel. Prepare from there. So if they're asking for React, then there's a different thing. Like okay, so or if they're only asking for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then you can do those things. Okay, hope it is clear. So supervisor I have done. Then this team builder I'll do. No, calculator. So that is it. Now we have the images also. Let us put the images also here. So the images are like this. See, I can calculate, I can come, I can, all these images are there like this. So let us put those things. So on the supervisor one, have the images icon supervisor, and I can give the alt as supervisor, then images icon in builder images, icon. The source code is, there is no source code. You can take it from the front end mentor. You know, images and first one is icon calculator, calculator. Save it. See, now it is in showing like this. Okay. So this is the structure, but this is not like everything. This is just the structure. Okay. Okay. So now we are going to build a CSS, but we have done the structure. Now we'll go here and create a file, file.css, and here the zip file from frontend mentor site you can easily get. Okay, so they also give us this like what styles you have to give. Okay, so what fonts you will take. Okay, I recently taken a font, now I will remove it. So they are asking us to take a font known as Poppins and take the 200, 400, and 600 one. So I'll take the 200, I will take the 400, and I will take the 600 one, regular one, not the italics one. So I'll go here and do this import, and I will get the Poppins here like this. So go here and put it here, and then uh body font family as EO INS. Is why it is showing me like this. Okay, I will anyways I'll link it. Link style.css, save it, then a body, and it's showing me like this. Maybe I missed something here because of the semicolon interrupting me like this. Okay, no problem. Opens and fallback fonts of Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. And like this, I will save it. So like the font has now changed. Okay. So now a lot of things we have to refer from this style guide. Okay. So like the background color is this thing, this light gray, whatever is there. It is the background color. So go here and do a background color like this. This is the save it. Then one more thing which we should always take is like box sizing is border box. If you want to know more about it, what is this? Please refer our long CSS video. You will find out like the playlist which I've given. What is the box sizing border box? Okay, so first thing which we're going to fix is the header. So I'll go to this header, and this header I will do. There is a property known as a margin, which is the distance between two different element. It is different than padding. So margin, I will give it like 50 pixel, margin 50 pixel, and yeah, 50 pixel. So if I save it, see, if I inspect it, I can see this. If I select this header, I can see the style here. So header, the margin is all way around. It is showing like this. Okay, 50 pixel all way around. Now I want 50 pixel to be there on the top and down, and top and down, right and left. It should be auto. So 50 pixel, and then I can give the auto like this. Auto. Okay. And I will save it. So it will be at the like a center, but I have to give a width also. So max width is 500 pixel. Save it. So it is come to the center. And if I like inspect it, so see, this is how it is coming. But I want everything to be the center. If we have to refer to this again and again, so everything is at the center kind of. So here we'll have a text align as and yeah, center. I'll save it, and then it's moving in the center like this. Now this is fixed, but then also there are some things which are remaining here, and which is like the color and all these things. So see, one is light and one is dark. So how do we do that? So first thing is that I'm going to do this h1 as on weight as 200, and margin. So every element have a margin also. So I'll make the margin as less, margin 0. So now what will happen, like the margin will reduce between them. Then the now both of them has become small, but I don't want the second one to become small. So I'll do a h1, and there is something known as the nth child property. Nth child property, if there are two h1s, see we have two h1s, so I can choose the nth child property. So nth child property, the second one I will give, and then the font weight is 600. I'll give, save it. So it has become more larger. Then the I will give, he has actually a color is a bit different. So it is not a black color. This is some color which they have actually given us. This is actually grayish blue, they are calling it. It is not a grayish blue, like this is some gray color. They call it grayish. I don't know why. This is not even a blue color. So this is like this. This is the grayish blue. So again, not only this P, all the other P are also of like this now, the same color. All right. So this is done. So see, our header is now same. Now header is done. Now the main thing is that this block. So how do we make this block? Let us do that. Okay. So here we are going to go and do the first is that, okay, so we are going to use the concept known as flexbox. Again, what is flexbox? Go through our long CSS thing, and you're going to understand what is the flex box. So I will go here and do a dot container display of flex. If I give, see, everything will move one after the another, and then I will have a max width of 1140 pixel. I have max width. Now I will have a here uh, yeah, margin 0 auto, and this is something which will be coming into picture later on. Flex wrap, again it's a property which will be used to flex wrap. It will show in different lines, and then I will have a justify content of center. Those who know flexbox, it's very easy for them. This one is center. Now I have to make them as a box. So for that, I will go and each of them, each of the four thing have a box thing. So I'll go here and do a dot box and background color as hashed FFF. It's a code for white. So background color is done. Then margin, bit of margin between each one of them is 15 pixel margin between each one of them. Then padding, padding is inside, margin it outside. So padding of 30 pixel. So padding of 30 pixel is there, and there will be also a width of 350 pixel. Width is of 350 pixel. Now it is showing like perfectly like what it is there. Width is there, and so that is there. Now other thing which is padding margin is there, and we have a border radius. Actually, this is not the complete site, so it should be a bit more. Okay. This is the perfect screen size. Okay, so now the okay. Now the border radius is 5 pixels. So border radius is what? The sharp edges will not be anymore sharper. So this is there. And there is one more property which is there. So this box are sort of showing coming out. This is because of there is like a box shadow property is also there. So we'll do this. Box shadow is like a bit tough to get. There is a box shadow generator is there. So go to there, this box shadow generator, and then here like I'll keep on moving this thing. Radius like this, so it will give me the exact like this thing, and I will give it shadow. This can be like 0, this can be 0. Save it. Now you'll see that a bit of box shadow is there outside. So this is known as a box shadow. So now our this is looking almost same. The only thing like the next thing which we have to do is okay, there is one more thing. There are two, three things which are remaining here. One thing which is remaining here is that like this images are on the left hand side, they're on the right hand side. So how to do that? So each of the box also I can make it a display flex. So I'll go here and make it as display of flex and flex direction. So there is a flex direction property which you can use, and I will make it as column. The moment I do it, so it will show one after the another. It will show as if it is like the last one is like distorted. So this box I will target the image dot box. I will target the image and I will make a align self as flex and save it. So now it is perfect. Like it is going to the end. Now two, three things which we have to do this S3 and it is a S3. S3 and P we have to style it a bit. So inside the box, the H3, I will style it a margin of 0. Then font size of 22 pixel, increase the size of it. Then this is done. And then the dot box of P and font size is 40 pixel and save it. So like this it is done. Okay, so that is done. Now everything is done. Only the thing which is remaining right now is that this border top needed to be changed. So we'll use this border top properties now. So here what we are going to do is one sec. So this border top property, we will like they have given us this border top property, how it is there. So this border top, there's a property known as like nth child. So nth child we have already used. So nth child and the border top is a border top property which we have taken and now let's save it. See the border top are being changed. So this is like working fine. Okay, so now one more thing is remaining here is that okay, so these two things should be down. These two things should be down. So how to bring these two things down? Okay, that is something which we need to do. And that is done with a property known as the transform property. Okay, so I'll go here to a dot box and nth child and odd. Odd means this is 1, 2, 3. 1 and 3 are odd. And there is a transform properties there. Transform and translate y. Y means top and down thing. Okay. And then 50% I'll do y axis. Now it has moved on. So now it is done. Now this is done. Okay. So now this is done perfectly. So now the next thing which we need to do is the mobile view. Mobile view and mobile view is done by something known as the media query. So if I make it a mobile view like this, you'll see that okay, everything is coming on top of each other. My mobile view is also almost done. So this flexbox and grid, they're like very powerful. With that the responsive sites are made in like this. Okay, so not much things are required here. Actually this is coming on top of each other because we messed up with this transform translate. We have to make it nil for the mobile view. So mobile view, how do we do? Add media max with 775 pixel and then I will choose this same thing and make the transform translate as 0. Make it nullify this thing. Okay, so now see. This is the mobile view, and the moment I make it desktop, it is desktop view. Mobile view, desktop view, mobile desktop. So this is how this is done, and we are done with the CSS part. And now think my colleague have joined. So now the JavaScript part for the next 2 hours will be taken by my colleague Hari. Okay, so Hari will take you through all through the JavaScript. Okay, so let me have Hari.
Hello everyone. If my voice is audible for all, can anyone tell it in the chat box if my voice is audible for all? Can you able to hear my voice? Everything is fine. Guys, can anyone tell it whether my voice is audible for all? Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, okay, guys. We have so first of all, welcome for this 4 hours of boot camp. So we have that. So the next 2 hours is going to be practically we're going to work with JavaScript. We're going to learn all the fundamental concepts of JavaScript, and also we're going to work with the project. Okay, we're going to create a project, and we're going to do some projects in the JavaScript. Okay, so we will get started. And before that, if you have any doubts, okay, so is now clear for all? Yeah, I think it is clear. It is working fine only. Okay, so check your side. Okay, thank you. So yeah, we will get started with JavaScript point, and we will see how to cover what are the basic concepts. We're going to cover some of the basic concepts, and with the help of those basic concepts, we're going to do one practical application. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And whatever doubts that you have in between, if you have any queries or you want to know about something like that, you can tell it in the chat box, and we're going to cover it. And the next 2 hours, we're going to see about the very basics and fundamentals of JavaScript, because JavaScript is not like HTML and CSS to create a static website and come up with. JavaScript is like a language that we need to learn a lot. Okay, so it's going to be a kind of language like we need to spend a month to learn practically and experiencing everything. Okay, so today we're going to discuss about again Kickstarter about all the JavaScript concept. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Let's just start. So let me share my screen. So here I create a folder. Uh, Let us create a folder, and I just going to open it with my VS Code. Okay. So inside this folder only we're going to work. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to create 3 files. Okay. So that is what extensively we need to create a website. So first one is going to be our HTML file. So for HTML file, I just going to create index.html file. And we know that why the HTML we need, because this is a base file, right? So I'm just going to do the basic, and here I just add an h1 tag. Let us call hello world here. Okay, and let me open it with the live server. Okay, to see how our file is serving. Okay, yeah. So this is our file, and this is where we're going to work with. And the next file, what we need a CSS file. I just want style.css. Okay. So a separate file for CSS we needed. So here I just going to write something. I'm just going to say body with the background color. And here I just want to add the aqua white. Okay. The aquatic white I just going to add. And I save it. You can see nothing is changed. Why? Because index.html is a different file. Style.css is a different file. Right? We know that it is an external CSS. If I want to change something, then I want to add the CSS with my HTML. So to link with that, first what we need to do, we need to add a link tag here, right? So here I just change this to WD, and here I just going to add a link tag, and I just going to add the CSS one. Now if I save it, you can see the color is changed. So now it is successfully added. So why we need to add this style.css with our index.html? What is the purpose of adding that? So like the purpose of adding that is because index.html is a base file and CSS is going to change the base file. So we need a base file to style it. We need a base file to align it, to layout it, right? So the HTML is going to be the structure of the file. So with the help of that only, we're going to do everything, right? So that is why we are linking it. So now I just going to create another file. I'm going to name it as app.js. Whatever the name that you want, you can give it, but the extension should be .js. So what is meant by .js? It is JavaScript file. How we created our index.html file separate and style for CSS we created a separate file. Same like that for JavaScript also we're going to create a separate file. Okay, we created it. First, we need to know what is JavaScript, right? So then only we can able to understand where to add it. Okay. So here you can see we know what is CSS. So CSS will change the like the UI user interface of a website. It is going to give like it will take care of all the design part of the HTML, right? It is going to change the structure of a website. So that is why we are adding CSS with our HTML. So then what is app.js, which means the JavaScript is going to do. So if that is clear, if what JavaScript is going to do, if that is clear, then we can understand where I need to add JavaScript and what is the thing that I want to do with JavaScript, right? So first, let's see what is actually JavaScript. Okay, in simple terms, JavaScript is nothing but okay. So it is a scripting language used to manipulate the HTML and CSS. Okay, so what it is going to do? So it is used to manipulate HTML and CSS. So what is mean by that? What is meant by manipulating HTML and CSS? Well, let me explain. So, for example, let me add a button here, and I just say click. You can see we are clicking this button, right? And you can see that what JavaScript will do is when someone clicks this button, okay, I'm giving an example. When someone clicks this button, change the hello world to congratulations. So JavaScript can do this. Change the entire background color of my website into white. For example, a theme switcher, a drop down, and carousel, and like and fading out an animation part. All the front end work, whatever the interaction that you are making, all the changes that is happening in HTML and CSS, that is because of JavaScript. Okay, let me see a practical example. I just go for a website called Dribble. Okay, and here I just going to click discover, and now here you can see. Let me understand the structure of Dribble now. You can see this is a Dribble website, and you can see an advertisement is there, right? And now if I click it, we all know that it is going to be disappear. But how it is happening? This is a div, and the div inside we having a paragraph or any tag that we are having, and here we are having our a link is there, and here it is an icon. And if I click it, how the div is get disappeared. So that is the one thing that we need to discuss. So if I right click here, go for the inspect, you can able to see the div that containing that. So it is a paragraph. Inside that we have an anchor tag, and inside this is the div that is containing everything. So this is the div that contains the entire thing. Okay, I just go here, and now you can able to see what is the style right now. Right now they have so much of styles, right? But when I click it, you can able to see some changes happen in here and here, and then a blinking will happen. You can see here. I just click here. You can see what has happened. A display none properties get added. You can able to see it, right? Before that it is not there, but right now a display none property is added. So if I remove this one, you can see this again appeared. And now if I click it, if I click this button, you can see again and slow down a fade in animation is happening. And at the end of the time, it is giving me a display none property. So what is happening? What is exact thing is happening here? Well, the JavaScript is doing that. So it is manipulating the CSS of the particular HTML tag. Hey, someone clicks it. Then what you need to do, by default, you have a display block property. You just want to make them to display none. Okay. I will give you some timer, and based on the timer, you need to make it. So that is what happening. That is why we are getting this display none. And when I click it, it just go and just vanish out the particular div. And this div is present, but the display none property is hides the element, right? That's what it will. That's what it will do. And here you can able to see this one, right? If I click it, you can see what is happening. An entire div tag is open, and inside the div tag we have a tag and input and so much of things is here, right? So what I'm going to do, I just going to right click and I just going to inspect to fetch the particular element. And now you can see we have this download, and this download is inside a field set, and this field set is inside in another field. You can able to see this field set is for color, this field set is for tag, and this is an entire form, and this is going to be the display. This is the entire div that contains. And you can able to see by default, it has a display style of block, right? It has a display style of block. And if I click it, you can see the display style block is changed to display style none. And if I click again block, you can see the changes, right? So what is happening? What is the workflow is happening? When someone clicks it, so that is called as event. Okay. The event, the interaction that we are making with the website, that's called as events. Okay. So that is listened by JavaScript. So the browser will communicate with JavaScript. Yes, this event has happened for this particular element. And what we will do, we will write a program. So that program, if some event has happened for this particular div, then you need to change the CSS property of display block to none. Okay. So this is what you need to do. So these kind of activities, these kind of manipulation, and this one, so much of activity, this one, everything is happens because of JavaScript. Okay. So this is everything because of JavaScript only. We can able to do this one. Okay. Simply, it is used to manipulate your HTML file and CSS app for front end. Okay. When JavaScript was introduced, it is introduced only for front end. It is called as client side scripting language. Right now, JavaScript can perform more than this. Okay. But when JavaScript was introduced, it is introduced only for the front end to do this kind of things, to manipulate the HTML CSS according to the user needs. If a user want to see a price tag, I can show them. If your user don't want, I can just leave it. If a user want to see an advertisement, I can show them. If the user don't want, I can leave it. I leave that. Okay. So that is what, okay, that's what happening here. Okay, fine. So now what we do, so now we can understand what is the purpose of JavaScript, right? So the purpose of JavaScript is to manipulate your HTML file and your CSS file, right? Yeah. So it is used to manipulate your HTML file and CSS file. So now what we are going to do, now we know that this file, with the help of this file only, we can able to manipulate the HTML and CSS. Then what I want to do, I want to add my app.js file. Okay, so this file with my base file, because in index.html file only the CSS and this whatever the content in HTML and whatever the content in CSS is linked. So I need to add this file. So where I can add it, you can add it in the head part also, but the recommended way is to add JavaScript file at the bottom of your body tag. So why you need to add a bottom of the body tag? The reason is it's very simple. When app.js file, what is the use of app.js file? It is need to manipulate HTML and CSS, right? But when we are adding a head tag, in the head tag we are try to add the JavaScript file. What will happen in some case, before HTML CSS is going to execute, JavaScript file will be executed. Okay, so for that we need to add a keyword called defer and we need to make it wait. So to avoid those things, okay. So what I need to do, once the HTML and CSS is completed, completely loaded in the internet, then only my JavaScript file need to be run. So for that, it is best to add your under the body tag. So if the body tag everything is fetched and everything is displayed, then it will be shown. So for that, I just going to add script. To add that, you need to use a script tag. Like how we have a link tag here. For JavaScript, you need to add a script tag. And script tag, we are having an src file. Here, you need to mention what is the file that you want to add. The file I just want to add is app.js. It is going to mention it. And now you need to check it, right? So we have added app.js file and we need to check it whether we have successfully added or not. For example, if I add style, how I can check it? Well, I apply something and I will check it. I give the background color to something like this and I will apply something. And if it is changed, then we can understand, okay, CSS file is successfully added. But how can I understand like my app.js file is successfully added? So this process is called as debugging. So debugging is nothing but when we are writing some code. Okay. When we are writing some code, we need to check whether the code is written in a proper, written in a correct manner or not. Okay, so that is what debugging is. I write a single line of code, and if I write that code, I need to know whether the code is successfully written or not. Right? Instead of writing everything and then cross-checking the error, that is absolutely a tedious process. So, further, what you need to do? Well, you need to write each and every line, and you need to check it whether this line is working perfectly or not. Like that, you need to check it. That's what debugging is. Okay. So right now, what is my issue? I just connected my app.js file with my index.html. I need to know whether my app.js file, the JavaScript file, is successfully connected with my index.html or not. Because if any causes it is not connected properly, then what will happen? Whatever the code that I'm going to write in my app.js file, it is not going to affect my HTML and CSS. Then I can not manipulate my HTML file and CSS file. Okay, so that is why. So now let's go. I just go and right click inspect here to see this. So previously we have discussed about this element and let me find out the things and everything. Here we need to know about another developer tool, a browser tool that is called as console. Well, what is the console will do means, so whatever the code that whatever the error, whatever the warning that you are writing while you are writing some code, you will get it here. Okay. For example, right now, if I added a wrong file name like this, okay, it is not something that is not existed. Okay. I'm just going to save it. You can see we are getting an error here. So a red color background that is always indicates an error. So what it is saying that you are asking for something called as app wder sir, and this is in the index.html file in the line number 17. You can see the line number 17 here. Okay, so this is not found. The particular file is not found. So once you started to add a proper file, a correct file name, everything is successfully added, then you save it, you cannot see any error here. If there is no error, then probably whatever you have written, it's done. It's correctly applied. Okay. And not only that, here this console is used as a dynamic one. Okay. Where we can able to give our values and we can get our results. For example, here I just going to say what is 4 times 3. You can see it is giving me answer 12. So what does this means? Simply whatever the whatever the value that you are giving inside the console.log, it is going to give the result of it. Okay, that's what you can do. So now you once your file app.js is successfully added with index.html, Now you can able to access this console log within your like this console within your JavaScript file. Okay, in JavaScript file itself, you can able to access it. So how we can able to access it? So before that, I just remove this one. And if you want to access this console here in our file, then you need to use a method, a default method that is called as console.log. With the help of this method, whatever you are writing inside this curly braces, code braces, okay, it is considered same what you are writing here. For example, here I like 4 times 3. I ask it, save it. Let's see the console is producing result. So the console.log, it is going to log whatever the value that you are giving, whatever the operation that you are want to perform, whatever you are giving, it is going to show the result of that particular operation. So with the help of this console.log, what we can do is we can able to debug our code. So whenever I writing something, I need to check whether the code is written correctly or not. So during that time, what I can do, I can write console.log and I can put what the code that I have written and I can see what is the changes that is happening, what is the result that is I'm getting, whether it is an expected or an unexpected one, like that. Okay, clear? Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is what the console.log is. So now the next thing what I'm going to do, we're going to start directly jump into JavaScript and we're going to see some of the concept, basic concept. So what are the concepts that are needed to understand the basic foundation of JavaScript? Okay. So first of all, you need to learn the basic foundation concepts and you need to learn a little bit about DOM. Okay. So these two things is only needed to get kickstart with JavaScript. After you learning this, then there are so much of things is that to learn to upgrade yourself towards JavaScript. Okay. But to starting as a JavaScript, to start getting into JavaScript, these are all the things that you want to learn. Two categories. One is basic concept and another one is DOM. So what is meant by basic concept? Basic concepts are common in all other programming languages. So let me know in the comment box, like how many of you already know some other programming languages. Tell about what are the programming language that you know. Okay. Tell about it in the chat box. What are the programming language that you know? Tell it in the chat box. Let me discuss. Okay. So the basic concepts. So tell your answer in the chat box. I will continue the class. The basic concepts involves what are the basic concepts of? The basic concepts involves like variables, data types, okay, and then we have functions, we have loops, we have conditional statements, and a lot more. Okay, mostly these five things comes under very basic concept, and lot more is that. Okay, so that is also like iteration concepts and methods and there's so much of projects and so much of things is there. Okay, so but these all are the foundation for all the concepts. So that is what we need to learn. Okay, so let me learn that one. Okay, okay. So yeah, so first concept that we're going to learn is going to be variable. And before that, we need to know what is DOM actually, right? So DOM is actual the thing, the actual one thing that helps us to communicate with our browser. When someone clicks the button, okay, when someone clicks the button, uh, the browser is communicating with the JavaScript, right? It is telling that the browser is clicked, right? So once it is clicked, then I need to change the browser HTML, CSS. So with the help of DOM only, we can able to change the HTML and CSS and everything. Okay, that is possible with the help of DOM. DOM is also like an object. I will explain about that, and it has some methods And with the help of default methods, we can able to change and manipulate the HTML and CSS. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, just give a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay, thank you guys. Sorry for that. Okay, some rain is bad weather is happening here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, with the help of DOM only, we can able to achieve this. And now we're going to see about the DOM operation, and we're going to learn these concepts, and we're going to apply those concepts with the practical projects, and we're going to learn this. Okay, let me see. Just going to open my browser and think. Okay. So now what is the first functionality I can do is when someone clicks it, I need to change this hello world to congratulations. Okay, so this is the first functionality that we're going to learn. Okay, when someone clicks it, I need to change this to hello world. So well, let me learn that one. Okay, yeah. So to learn that one, whatever you are going to work with in a language, first you need to learn two things. One is about variable and another one is about data types. Let me see what is variable and what is data types, and then we will apply the functionality and learn this one. Okay. So let us go and discuss about what is variable. And you can see that I use some double class, right? So what is this? This is called as comments. Okay. So this is called as comments. So what does comments means? So whatever you are writing in comments, that is ignored by browser. Okay. If you normally write without comments means then it is considered as an error. Okay, because it is considered that one as a code. Okay, so we should not write like this. So that is why we are writing all the things in a comment. So comments are like small hints that we are giving for our co-developers and for our own purposes. Okay, so if you are giving comments, then it will be ignored. In HTML we have comments, in CSS we have comments, and JavaScript also we have comments. In HTML we will the comments look like this. Okay, if you comment it off down, it is like a note, and this right now if we save it, then it is ignored by the browser. Whatever you are writing inside that, it is ignored by the browser. That's what it is. And CSS also we have comments like you can see that's a comment. Same like that in JavaScript we have a comments. You just want to use double slash for single line comment, and you need to use slash multiplication sign, again multiplication sign, and slash for multiple line comments. Okay, so that is what the concept. First one is going to be variable. So what is a variable? What is a variable? First of all, so variables or containers. Okay, remember that variables or container. Okay, this is a keyword. So what is mean by container, and what is the use of container in a language? To store data. So the container in our home to store some things. The containers in here, it is going to store some data, and that is called as variable. So how to create a variable? Right now, why I want to store some data? Well, when we whatever we are working with is everything is going to be a data only. Okay. So we need to store it and we need to use it for our further purposes or our later purposes. So for that, what I need to do, I need to store it in a variable. So that is why we are storing it. So to declare a variable, to create a variable, okay, we need actually three things. One is keyword, okay, we need keyword, we need identifier, identifier, okay, and then finally we need value, what data that I want to store. So let me discuss about keyword first. So what is keyword? So keywords are nothing but a reserved words. Okay, keywords are nothing but a reserved words that is sorry. that is used to use, that is like with the help of that reserved words only, browser will understand that okay, you're going to create a variable, you're going to create a function, you're going to create a loops. Okay, so we have some reserved words, you need to use it, then only the browser will understand. Okay, so what are the keywords that are available here for now to create a variable? So we have let, we have const, and then we have var. Actually, we have three keywords to create a variable. So when I write this keyword, the browser reads it. He understands that, okay, he need a variable. So I need to create a container for him, and I'm going to store a data too. Okay, so that's what it is. So let me put any one of the keyword here. Right now, I just go and take let. Okay, and I put it here. That is completed. So now next one, what we need an identifier. So now here browser will create a container for us. Now what I want to do is I want to label the container. Why I want to label a container? Imagine in your home you have 10 to 15 container boxes, and each and every boxes contains materials, any things. Okay. So what we usually do, we will label our container, right? So this is for our design book. This is for our books. This is for our notes. This is for our gadgets. Like that, we will label our container. Same like that. Here we're going to store in working with program. It's all about data. So we're going to store n number of data. And whenever we want it, how we can easily want it? Well, we need to give a name to that container. Then only we can able to go and fetch the correct identifier. Okay. So that is what identifier is. Okay, we need to create so much of containers. So we need to identify a particular content, particular data. Then we need to give a name for that container. So we are labeling the container. So let me give a name as F name. Okay, basically first name. I'm just giving like this, and you need to give equal to this. F name is called as identifiers. Okay, sorry. This F name is called as identifier. So now let is created a container. F name is created a label for that container. Now what I want to put inside it. So that is called as the value. So well, I just want to store a sequence of character. So to store a sequence of character, which means a word. So I'm going to say my name like this. Okay, like this. So now what has happened is when JavaScript read the code, let will create a container. F name is the container name, and a value is stored inside that container, and it is kept safe in our browser. Now if I want that, if I want that value, then if I call this F name, then we will get this value of the person. Okay. So how can I check whether the code is successfully written or not? Whether my variable is successfully created or not? How can I check it? Well, to check that, we have console.log. We can debug the code, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say console.log call for f name. So what the console.log will do, well, if the variable is present, it is going to return the value of the variable. If the variable is not present, it will throw as an error. Now if I save it, you can see we are getting the value. So what is mean by that? So if we are getting a value, this means our code is successfully written. There is no issue in our code, right? Okay. So our code is successfully written. There is no issue in our code. Okay. Okay. So that's what it is. So if there is any issue is there, then what in the console it will display. For example, here I just going to say f name 1. Okay. Now if I ask for f name, you can see we are getting an error. Check out what is the title of an error and what is it is saying. What's it saying? Okay. Check out these two things. One is reference error. What is mean by reference error? So reference error is nothing but whenever you are asking something, but that is not existed in your entire document, then it is considered as a reference error. Okay. So here it is saying that f name is not defined, which means f name, there is no such variable you are calling for. So that is why it is telling f name is not defined. And why? Because here we have f name 1 and I'm asking for f name. If I ask for f name 1, we will get the value, right? So this is one type of error. And another type of error is like this. And if I ask for like this, you can see we are getting an another type of error that is called as syntax error, reference error, syntax error. So what is meant by reference error? Well, you are asking something that is not existed. That is reference error. Syntax error is when you return something, but you return not in a proper syntax. So what is syntax? Well, syntax is nothing but each and every language has a syntax. So that is the way of writing code. If you if you don't follow the syntax, then it will throw an error for you. So which means the browser will not able to understand what is the code that you have written. Okay. So that is what syntax error is. Okay. So here why the syntax error is coming means for creating an identifier, we have set of rules. One of the rules is you should not start an identifier with a number. So if you start an identifier with a number, then that is an error. Okay, this is not a correct way to write a correct an identifier. So that is why we are getting this syntax error. Okay, clear? So keywords we have three things. One is let, const, and what. You can use any all the three keywords, but my recommendation is go with let and const because war have little bit complexity. You need to learn some advanced things to understand war much more deeper. Okay, so let and const are newly introduced one. For if you are getting started, always use let and const. So what is the difference between let and const? So the difference between let and const is when you declare a variable with let, it is redeclarable. You can able to reassign the value. For example, here I created I declare a variable and store a value that is giving taken my name. And now if I call the same f name and give an another name, okay, let me give Navidu sir name. Okay, I just give Navidu sir. And now if I ask for it, you can see we are getting for Navidu. So why we are getting this? So understand the code. Here it is declaring a variable, a container is created and a value is put inside the container. And here what is happening? Here the already returned value is taken out and a new value is getting put inside that container. So that is what fname is. And when I asking for it, it is doing this. And this is declaration. This is reassigning the value. And this behavior is absent in the const. Whenever we are declaring a variable with const keyword and I save it, you will get a type error. This is the third kind of error. The first one is a reference error. The reference error will come. The reference error will come when something is not existed. Syntax error is come when you are writing some code that is not in a proper syntax of a language. And a type error will come when you just use the type that is that you should not use like this. For example, a const variable should not redeclarable. But right now I'm asking like not redeclare, reassigning. So I'm asking them to reassign. That is why it's telling that it is a type error. This type of variables cannot reassign. That is why it is showing an error called type error. So you will probably face these three errors. So whenever you are getting these three errors, look at the title and understand why it is giving this error. So based on this error, you can able to solve your problems. Right? Right. And if I create a let, then it will be probably work fine. Okay. So this is the second one. And then we know about let const and war. Right now, war we don't want to use. We use let and const. This is a modern way to use it. And war has some complexity. We will discuss that later. And for creating an identifier, it means how to label. To label the thing, we have a set of rules. Just type it in the internet, JavaScript, okay, identifier rules. Rules for creating identifiers. It will come set of rules. The first rule is it should not starts with number. Okay, it should not starts with number. And second rule is it should not have no special characters like dollar sign, this kind of signs should not be used except two signs. One is, sorry, you can use dollar sign, except other signs you cannot use it. You can use dollar sign and you can use underscore. Except these, you should not use any other signs in your identifier creation. And third one is, it is a case sensitive. So what is mean by that? For example, here you can see the F name, F is small and N is caps letter. And when I am calling it, when I call F and N is small, and if I save it, you can see it is giving a reference error. Yes, yes, I would tell. Like right now, 𝐏𝐚𝐫𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐚𝐿 Rakesh, right? So right now you can understand that we are getting a reference error. So why we are getting a reference error wrong? Because we are asking something that is not existed, right? So if a variable is created, then I created in my memory. If I ask it, I can able to get it. But if something is not there, then you are asking for it. Then it will give you an reference error. Okay. So here you can see why it is giving an reference error is because I said that identifiers are case sensitive. You can see the first letter is small and the N is caps, right? Here all the letters are small. So what identifiers, what variables will check means it will check for the exact way how you declared, the same exact way you called it or not. Okay. So or else what it will do, it will go and check for some other variable that is consist of the same exact syntax, same exact identifier letterings. So right now no value is created for F name. That is why we are getting a reference error. So in our entire memory, there is no such thing called as F name. F with small letter. Okay. Now if I give an caps letter, now if I save it, it will be vanished, right? It will be vanished because it is a case sensitive. Okay. So reference error is basically that. So the third one is going to be value. Value. So we have discussed about what is the keyword that we need to use, what is the difference between let and const, what is identifier, and how can we use identifier. And another thing I need to tell it, what is the most common case that JavaScript follows is lower camel case. So what is mean by lower camel cases? The first letter, the first word in a letter is going to be small, and the upcoming word with the first letter is capital. For example, if you want to write, a first name, how in JavaScript we will write is FIST first, small caps name. Okay, first name, person, in, office. So this is how you need to write. The first letter is going to be always small, and the upcoming word with the first letter it's caps. Okay, so this is called as lower camel case. For example, in CSS, you will separate each word by a dash. That is kebab. Same like this. Here we should not separate like this, but you can write whatever the case you want. But JavaScript follows this lower camel case. So if you write it in the same case, then it will be good. Okay, it is a good one. Yeah. Okay. So now come to the third one. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So now come to the third one. The third one is going to be the value. So that is value, the value that you are storing inside a container, right? So what is the another name that I can tell to the value? It is going to be, we can tell it as data, right? So another name we can tell it to a value. It is going to be a data. So now let us consider whether we have only a sequence of character like word. Value may be anything, right? Value may be a number. Value may be like word, a letter, and integer, and an decimal value, and nothing will be there like that. Value may be anything, right? So they have different types. Values have different types, and those types are called as data types. Understand? So this is value, and this data have different types. So we have separated all the data in JavaScript, all the data that are available that can store in JavaScript is separated into a category, and that categories or comes under the topic of data types. That is what our second topic is all of. Okay. So just a minute, let me take some water. Okay. So that is what the data types. Okay. So now we're going to see what all are the types of data that are available. Okay. So we're going to discuss that one. So to discuss that, what all are the types of data are available? Let me comment of all the things. Okay, I just commented off everything. And the second topic now we are moving, that is data type. That is data types. Okay. In data types, basically it is categorized into two types: primitive, reference. Okay. So they have, why we have two categories, they have so much of definitions and so much of things to look into when it comes to why it is categorized into two. But the easy way to understand this is primitive data types store only one data, one variable, one data. Okay, one variable, one data. Okay, one variable can hold, primitive data types can able to hold only one value. Okay, so in a variable, that's what it will do. But reference data type holds more than a value. Okay, clear? So it is holds more than a value. First, let me see what are the type of data that will comes under primitive data type. So there are actually seven data types is there comes under primitive, but only five is important. Those two things is newly introduced and they don't have lot much of use cases. Okay, let me see the first five data types. So the first five data types are string, number, boolean, null, undefined. These are the first five primitive data types, and the remaining two are distinct and then symbol. And these two things we do not want it. Okay, so like we did, it doesn't have any use cases, but these five things have a lot of use cases and we will use it. Okay, so we are not going to cover these two things, but it is very simple and easy only. Okay, you search it in Google, you will get into what is the definition of it. Okay, you don't want to worry about that because you never use it, but you will use these things most often. Okay, so that comes under here. And in reference data type we have one thing that is called object. Okay, and we have another one that is array. But array is not a different data type. Okay, array is not a type of different data type. Array is a special type of an object. Okay, array is a special type of an object. So inside this object only array will come. Okay, yeah. So these all are the five, and this one plus six are the most common. Six, not seven. Six data types and one special data type. That's one of the most common used JavaScript data types. Okay, clear? Yeah. Sorry guys, I have some bad throat. That's why I'm taking water in front, like in between the thing. Okay. Okay. So now let us see about what all comes under primitive data types. Okay. So in primitive data types, the first one is string, right? So what is a string? A string is nothing but sequence of characters. Okay, it is called as sequence of. It comes under sequence of characters. What is mean by that? All the wordings are comes under the sequence of characters. Okay, maybe a letter, word, or anything. Okay, in simple terms, how you can understand string is, so simply whatever that comes under single quotes, double quotes, and backticks, they all are considered as string data types. Okay, so if you are write something inside double quotes or single quotes or backticks, they are all considered as a they all are considered as a string. Okay, so now let me create a variable, let str. For creating a string, we just want to use quotes or backticks, anything, and here you can use whatever you want. I just say hello. And now let us ask for the console str. Ask for it. You can see we are getting hello, right? Now I want to check what is the data type. I don't want the value. I need to check what is the data type of this variable. What data type that the variable is consist of. There is two ways to check it. One is just hover over your mouse towards the variable. Here you can able to see what the data type that the variable is holds. You can see it is let str and the data type that is holding is a string. You can see it here with the help of Visual Studio Code auto recommendation, or else you can use an operator called method called type of method. If you use type of method before any variable, it will returns the data type of a variable. Okay. For example, here in str, I will give you type of, and I just give a space. That's it. Type of with a space. Okay. Not here. Type of with a space. Now, if I ask for it, you can see it is returning me string. Why? Because this console.log is going to log type of string. So what is string? String is hello. And what is the data type of that particular string? It is an sorry, that variable is going to be a string and it is going to return the string to me. Okay, that's what it is. And here another important thing that you want to notice is if you do and number here, I just say 67. Okay. Now tell what is this? Whether it is a string or a number. Tell it in the chat box quick. Yeah. Tell it if I give str equal to 67, what is the data type of what is the type data type that it will returns in the console? Tell it in the chat box. Just guess it and tell it. Yeah. Any guesses? No one can guess it. String. Perfect. Why? Because even though this is a number, JavaScript performs an auto type conversion. So whenever you are writing in a proper syntax, an auto type conversion will happen. That is called as coercion or conversion, auto type coercion. Okay. So what happened in the back means JavaScript convert that particular one into what syntax that you have written. For example, right now I mentioned it as double quotes, single quotes, backticks. So whatever you are writing inside this is going to be treated as a string. Even it is a number or any other data type that you are going to write. If it is enclosed with double quotes or single quotes or backticks, then they are all string. They are just words. They are going to have only the capability of words. Okay. So that's what it is. So now let us jump into the second data type, number. Okay. So numbers basically everything is number. Not an integer, float, double, not like this. Everything is a number here. So if you have, let's say, let num equal to, and here I just give 12. Let I ask for console.log type of num. If I ask for it, see we are getting number. And if I give 1.2, still it is a number. If I give minus 1.2, still it is a number. And everything is treated as number only. Okay. We should everything is considered as a number only. You should not have the like string, float, or everything like that. Okay, there are some method to work with string and float, but here considered as data type, everything is number. Okay, that is your second one. Okay, and the third one is going to be okay. Third one is going to be Booleans. So Booleans are basically used in the place of comparison. When you want to compare two things, when you want to like check whether this is true or false, like that. Okay, basically true Boolean returns true or false. That is what it is. Okay, so if you want to write something like that, then this category comes under here. For example, I just say cons. I just say is valid. If I say true, you can see it is also a sequence of character, but I not enclosed with double quotes. So this value is considered as a boolean, basically true or false value. I just ask go and ask console.log. If I check for true, and if I run it, we are getting true, right? And if I ask for what is the type of this, this is a boolean. And if I ask for what is false, you can give false also. It is boolean. And make sure that if you enclose it with double quotes or single quotes, then it is a string. Sorry, then it is a string only. Okay. So if you not enclosed, then it is a boolean value. Then and if you give some comparison like 525 is greater than 78, as per it, it is a boolean value. And if you during this time this operator, the comparison operator, this boolean operator will be work. Okay. Check for it, you can see we are getting false. If I ask for less than, you are getting true, right? So this is how the boolean operator will work. Okay, so that's for it. And then we're going to jump into null. So null is nothing but it is also a data type where you want to specifically make a particular data, a particular variable, particular value that has no value in it. Okay, specifically making that particular value as null. Okay, so that is what null. So let me explain. Let a equal to null. So if I ask for console.log a, you can see we are getting null. So this is called as null data type. Well, basically creating a variable and I don't want any value. I want null to put inside it. So by purposely making the value to put empty. Okay, so that's what null is. Okay, so null is simply the space is occupied, but the meaning of null is nothing, right? So that is what we are making it by purpose. That is what null. But here and another thing is when I check for what is the type of null, we are getting objects. Remember that when I check the type of boolean, we get boolean, string for string, number for string. So as per the logic, if I check for the type of null, we should get null only, right? But we are getting a reference data type that is an object. It is giving me object. Why it is giving me this object? Well, this is an bug only. Okay, so this is an error only. Don't want to worry about that. Even a proposal is made to change the issue. Okay, to change data type of a null to a null. Okay, still it is that, and once it is done, it will be it will be changed. Okay, so but it is an issue only. Okay, so null is nothing but by purposely making a value as null. So where you can use when you want a value that should be you want to make by purposely null, during that time you can use this null data type. For example, you are doing some blood checking. In some columns they will defaultly put as null, right? By default there is a null will be there, right? Am I right? So that is what null is. So because I want that variable to null, making purposely as empty, that is what null is. Okay, okay, so that's what null is going to be. And what is going to be undefined? Let b equal to, I just say undefined. Undefined is also exactly same look like something like undefined, but there is a difference between null and undefined. What does that mean? Null is taking the space and making us empty. Okay, purposely we are doing it. But undefined is a default behavior of JavaScript. It will put the undefined keyword. It is a temporary zone where something is going to be replaced later. For example, when you create a variable without a value, Now you check what is the value of a variable that is undefined. Most people think this is null. Nothing is there, so null. No. Null is taking the value, take up the space, and making purposely null. And here, undefined is something like taking the value, but I don't take any space. Later, it is going to be get replaced. Undefined is like a temporary area before something is getting to assign. It is going to be there. Okay. It is making purposely. It is leaved as empty. Okay, it will be written anything I can write whenever I want. But here it is a null. It is making purposely null. Okay, that's what it is. So that is the difference between null and undefined. And the type of undefined is also undefined. You can see they are getting undefined. Okay, so that's what it is. And undefined, most probably we should not work with a lot. But whenever we are want to check some condition, we will work with that. Undefined will happen automatically in JavaScript. This keyword is one of the keyword. It will help JavaScript in memory allocation. Okay. Right now you don't want to confuse with them. Okay. Okay. Just give a minute. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm kind of not well, so that is why I'm not able to speak continuously. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mm, yeah. So this is what data type is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, we have completed variables, we have completed data type. And one more thing that we need to complete is we need to look into objects and array. We will see. But right now the primitive data types is okay. Okay. So now let us go and look into functions. Where okay. Yeah. We see functions. Okay. So here to create a function, we need keyword. So what is the keyword that I want to use? Function is the keyword that I want to use, and we need a function name. Function name, like it is like identifier naming your function. Okay, giving a label to your function, name of the function. Okay, and then we need to use this parenthesis. This is used to used for we see what is parameter bit later, but we need to use it. And we need to use this one, curly braces. This is used for write, write the block of code. Okay. So this is used to write the block of code. So let me see it, and we can how we can do this. And for writing this, first we need a keyword that is a function keyword. Okay, that what is the name that I can give to my function? Okay, I can give write book, write book. Okay, so this function name is used to like giving a name to that function. Whenever I want it, I can call it and I can get it. The next thing what I want to do, well, this is for parameter space. I will tell what is parameter bit later. Right now we need to use it. Okay. Once it is done, you need to use the curly braces. Inside this curly braces only, you need to write a block of statement. So first of all, what is a function? A function is nothing but what is variable? A variable contains value. When you call it, we can get the value. A function is also like that. Where functions not only contains a value, it contains a block of code, a statement. Okay, it will execute something and it will produce a value. So variable is rightly equal to value. All variables get the value, but functions call the if you call the function, a set of code will be executed, and the code it will at last it is going to return me a value for me. For example, here I can store let a equal to 12 multiplied by 14 and let c equal to 13 multiplied by a. Okay, and I just want to return a. So this is a function. So what happening? A function is here, and I say giving a name here, and here you can see we have written a block of code. What is a block? More than a line of code. Okay, we are writing more than a line of code. So this statement is going to execute every time. So this statement will execute first, like every time I'm going to call the function. This two line of code is going to execute again and again. Okay, it is going to execute again and again. So running a block of code whenever you are calling a function, that is considered as an, like whenever you are calling a function, a particular block of code will be executed. That's what it is. Okay, and what is this return keyword? Well, I say that call the function, executing the statement, okay, calling a function, and it is going to execute something, and then finally it is going to return a value, right? So that's what it is going to do. So return statement is nothing but what is the value that it need to return. Okay, function name, function, a block of execution, value, it is going to return. And the return keyword, return is the one thing that will returns what I want to return from here. So here you can see we have two operation. One is a and another one is b, another one is c, and I want to return a. So instead of a, I go for c. So what will happen? It will execute the block of code, but only what I want to return, it will be returned outside. Okay. So if you want to, if I save it, you can see this code will not execute. Why? Because this is inside a function. So if it is inside a function, like variable, functions also stored in memory. Whenever you are calling the function, then only this code will be executed. Okay. Whenever you are calling a function, then will be the code will be executed and it will be returned. So if you want to run a function, then you need to call the function. So where I want to call the function in the console.log, I want to call the function. So what is a function? Function is going to be write book. I just call it, and if I ask for it, you can see a difference. When I call a variable, what will happen? It will return some value. But here it is returning the formula of the function, right? Syntax of the function. You can see write book, and it is having a function with write book and let a is equal to like b is equal to return something like. I don't want like this. I just want the value of. So what can I do? What can I do? So for that, you need to invoke your function. Remember that whenever you are calling something, what stored in the memory, it will be returned. When I call the variable stored, the variable as a value, that will be returned. So here function store this entire syntax as in memory. Okay, when you call the function name, this entire syntax is just returned. But I don't want it. I just want only, I just want to execute this kind of code and I just want to return the C. So then what I want to do? Well, for do this, you need to call the function followed by this parenthesis. So if you do something like this, then what will happen? By probably function name you call with that, and it is not going to return the formula. Instead, it is going to return what you have right. The block of it will execute the block of code. Okay, if you run it, you can see it. We are getting a result 2184. So that is the result of 12 multiplied by 14 multiplied by 13. Okay, so that is what the result is. So that is what it is returning here. So this is called as function invocation or evocation or execution, anything like that. Okay, you can have calling someone people like that call that. Okay, so you can just this is how you need to write a function and you need to invoke your functions. Okay, so now let's see about parameters. So what is parameter and what the use case of parameter? Here you can see we have some value 8, let 12, 13, and these values are here. What if these values are coming from outside? the function. For example, here I have let num1 equal to 13, let num2 equal to 14, let num3 equal to 15. Okay. How can I pass this value inside this function? I want to replace it. So what can I do it? So for that, you can create a parameter. For example, here I can create num4, num5 like this. Okay. I'm 5 and I'm 6 like this. So now what I can do is, so this parameter is not is like a variable. It's like a variable, but that is only accessible inside the function. Okay. This variable is accessible only inside a function. So that is it is called as parameter. The functions parameter is used to fetch data from the outside the function. So right now it is nothing, which means an undefined. Okay. And a small space, a storage unit is created with the uh, three labels, three identifiers, num6, num4, num5. Okay. And if I want to, what are the value that I want to share? I just want to send that these data inside this num6, num4, num5. So for that, what you need to do, here you can able to see this, right? So this place is called as, when you invoke the function, here you need to call it. Okay. Here you need to pass the value. For example, num1, num2, num3. The order is very important. Based on what order that you are giving, based on that order only it is going to take place. For example, here 13, 14, 15 order we are given. So num6 takes the 13, num4 takes the 14, num5 takes the 15. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So it is going to take the value. So now if I just execute it, I just replace this 12 with num4, this with num5, this with num6. If I execute, you can see they are getting a value, right? So what is happening here? This value is taken and passed here. Okay, we are calling the variables inside here. And this place is called as arguments. What is this? Arguments. This place is called as argument. And this value is passed to here. This is called as parameters. 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 Okay. And whatever the parameters we are giving here, it is accessible inside the function. So we are accessing the function and we are returning the value of it, and it is returning to here. Okay. Clear? Right? Okay. Okay. So this is all about functions. So now we're going to dive into DOM operation. So with the help of this, we can able to perform a little bit things. Okay. A little bit of DOM operation that we can perform. So that we started to dive and we will perform some of the JavaScript operations, some of the JavaScript DOM operation. Okay. Let me see that. Okay. Okay. So we know about variable, we know about primitive data types. Now we know about functions. The next thing what we need to know is we need to know about event listeners. So we are getting into the browser analytics. So the first one is event listeners. So what is event listener? If someone clicks this button, something need to happen. So someone clicks it, something need to happen, right? So if a person comes, if a user interacts, then something need to happen. So for that, I need to listen for this click event to happen. That's what event listener is. So for how can we achieve it? Well, we have a method, okay, to achieve this one. So and I'm going to do the easiest one, and also we're going to perform the alternative. Two ways is that first we will see about the first way. First way is go for index.html and select the button that the event listener want to listen. Here, this is the element. This is the button that I want to listen for the event. So here, just type on. Okay, if you type the on, you can able to see what are the event listeners available. So my event listener is on click. So this on click, what it will do means it will takes up a function. It will takes up a function, and whenever that event is occurs, it will execute the function automatically. For example, I'm going to create a function. I just say write work, and I just going to here. I just going to say console.log. I am okay. So I just created this function, and if I save it, you can see nothing. If I click it, nothing will happen. Nothing is that empty, right? So we know that the function will execute when someone calls it, right? About keyword. So Karanpati Rakesh, like this keyword is on it comes under the advanced category. If you want to learn that one, I highly suggest like in the last month. I think last month of 27 to 31. Okay, so we have taken a class. I have taken a class about the advanced to mastery class entirely about JavaScript. Okay, so there we will cover the this keyword and their functionality and this methods and what is dynamic scope, lexical scope, so much of things. Okay, we have covered it. So have a look into that because this 4 hours boot camp is for completely person who doesn't know about anything about JavaScript. If they want to get into that, they can just get some insight. That's what it is because we cannot cover the entire thing within 2 hours. Okay, so have a look into that videos. It is a like 4 days, 1 hour video. Check it out. Check out that you will get an insight. That okay, and also you will check out every Wednesday we are uploading a video called Polo JavaScript series. That is also available. Have a look into that. Okay, yeah. So now we have created a function and write book, and we know that if I call the function, I call the function name, right? If I executed it, then it will be show I am clicked, right? Here I'm not going to execute this function. I'm going to I'm going to put this one here. Write book. I'm going to call the function here, and I just going to click here. Sorry, with the execution. So what it is going to do is what this on-click method will do is the on-click method takes up a function from the JavaScript and it will execute it. For example, if I click here, you can see I've clicked. I've clicked. How many times you are clicking? That much times the function is going to execute it. So right now the event listener is listening for an event to happen. So what is the event? It is click event. So likewise, you can add any event. Click event, mouse over event, mouse enter event. So the event is that you can add any event. If that event is occurs, this function is going to be executed. Okay. So inside this function, I say I am clicked. So it is executing. I am clicked in the console.log. Right. So this is what event listeners, and this how it will be work. And there is an another way to add an event listener is also that we will check out the another way also. Okay. So before that, we need to see about an another thing that is DOM operations. So let me discuss about the DOM methods. Okay. So we know that what I already said that what is DOM. So DOM is nothing but it has some methods and properties. With the help of those methods and properties only, we can able to interact with this HTML and CSS. Okay. Basically, the workflow is very simple. Just consider CSS. If I want to change the style of an element, what I want to do? First, I need to grab the element. Okay. First, I need to get the element by using their ID, tag, and then class. Right? These are the three element selectors that are available. We can get it, and some more advanced selectors are also available. But basics are based on their ID. We can able to change. You can see body is an ID tag, and we are changing the body color to something. If I want to change the H1 of my element, then I want to do either I need to get the class, either I want to get the ID, either I want to get the tag name, then I want to tell what I want to change. I need to give the value and I need to give the property, right? So that is what I want to do. So same like that in JavaScript, here it is styling, here it is manipulating. Okay. If you want to change something, first you need to grab the HTML element. Okay. First thing, first grab the element. Okay. This is first one. Then you need to tell what you're going to change. So here, background color, background property, background, so much of things, font size, font family, flex, display, margin, padding, right? That, right? So here we need to tell what is the property, what is the thing I'm going to change. And here you need to give what is the value that you want to change. Right? So these three things are important. Okay. So that is what we're going to discuss about one by one. Right now, how to grab an element. So for grabbing an element, we have 5 methods to grab the HTML element. Okay. So we're going to see about one method. So the one method is how to grab an element by their ID. Okay. So to grab an element by their ID, we have a default method. So what is the method is you need to use document. Document is nothing but that is the doc. It contains the whole it is an object that contains the whole properties and methods inside it. And you need to give a dot. Sorry, you need to give a dot, and here you need to use let. We're going to get an ID, like we're going to get an element based on their ID, right? So we need to say get element by ID. And look at the case. First letter is small, caps, small, caps, right? So this is how you need to write. And then you need to follow by this a method, means a function, you need to give a parenthesis. Okay. So this is a method that you need to use to grab an element from your HTML tag to JavaScript. What I'm going to do? Just a minute. Sorry. Okay. So okay. So now what I'm going to do? I'm just going to use this method document dot get element by ID. You can see here. Click here. Just open the parenthesis. Inside that, you need to tell what is the ID that you want to fetch. So what I want to fetch, then this is the element that I want to change, right? Manipulate. So what I need to do, I'm going to give an ID here. I'm just going to give here as head. Okay. So head is the ID that I'm given here. So now let us go for style. What we will do if I want to change the H1 style, give a number sign, say head, parenthesis. I'm just going to say color. It's going to be, we can say like green. You can see it is changed. Same like that. First, I need to grab the element. So for grab the element, you need to tell what is the ID here. It is going to be hit. Now it is successfully grabbed. I need to know whether it is successfully grabbed or not. So what can I do? Either in the console.log, I can put the entire code. Okay. I can take up, copy the entire code and I can put it here to check whether it is successfully fetched or not. If it is successfully fetched, then it will show that particular HTML tag is going to be displayed here. If it is not, then it is going to throw me an error. If I save it, you can see we are getting the H1 tag. Then it is successfully fixed. So either you can check it like this, or what you can do, you can store that value in a variable. So what is the variable? Variable is meant to store something, right? So we can create a variable like let get equal to document.getElement by whatever the value that you are getting from the HTML, store it here. So you just say let head equal to document.getElement by ID here. So I just call head. So inside the variable, our HTML element, it is go and store. Now you can see we are getting the value. So now what I want to do, well, second step, give what you want to change, right? The property to change it. So now what I want to change, I want to change the content of the element. right? So if you want to change the content, you want to change the content of the element, okay, then what you need to do is you need to use a property called how background color, background color, background image, background position, like properties are there. Same like that, here we have inner HTML. What the inner HTML will do? Will the inner HTML change the content of one HTML tag? For example, in this index.html, what is the content inside it? It is hello world. Now that is what I want to change. So what I want to do is first you need to select which element you need to change. This element is going to be hit. You need to give a dot and you need to tell what is the property that you want to going to change. I just going to want this inner HTML property. Now the property is ready. Then the final step, what kind of what you want to change, right? So the background color to this one, like that. So the property is said, what is the value you need to change? The value I need to change is instead of this one, I just want to say congrats. And if I save it, you can see it is changed to congrats, right? So what is the process? Grab the element, give the property, whether it is you want to change the CSS or whether you want to change the inner HTML or whether you want to change any other thing. Just want to tell what is the property. There are so much of properties there. Okay. I just tell only one property, inner HTML. And we all need to change it. And I just say what is the value that I want to change. It is going to be congrats, it is get changed. That is absolutely fine. Okay. But I don't want like this. When someone clicks it, during that time only it need to change, right? So that is what the issue. That is what the one thing that we want. So for that, what we can do? Well, we know that we already added an event lister. We just copy down here, and what we can do, we will write all the code inside this function. So why? Because if we write something, if I click it, then this function is going to execute. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut it down this code, put it here, put inside here, and cut it down here, cut down and put it down here. Okay. So now let us see here. If we save it, you can see now it is changed to hello world. Why? Because whatever the code that you are writing inside a function, it will be executed only the function is invoked, only the function is called. Okay. So that during that time only it is invoked. So on any other time, what will happen? It will be stay there, right? That's what. So now if someone calls it, it will be changed. For example, if I say write book, and if I call it, then it is changed to congrats. You can see, save it, call it. You can see it is changing. Right? So now what I'm going to do, I just want to invoke this function when someone clicks this button. So that is why we are added an event listener. So now if I go and click it, it is changed this to congrats. Just give a refresh. Normal, this is how. And if I click it, it is changed to congrats. Okay, fine. We have done what we want to do. We have done it. Okay. Sorry. Now, this is only one property. What if I want to change the style? For example, you can see right now it is in green color. I don't want this in green color. If someone clicks it, I just want to change the color to red. How can I do it? So for that, we have a different property. How background color property, background image a property, like that we have so much of properties here, right? Same like that, same like that. Here we're going to how to change it. For changing CSS, we have different property. So what I'm going to do, first select the element, right? The element we need to select. And instead of inner HTML, you need to type style. And if you type style, just give a dot and you can able to change any CSS property. You can able to see all the CSS property here. For example, right now I need to change the color only, right? I just going to say color. It is going to be violet. And now if I click it, you can see the color is changed to violet. Just instead of violet, I just give red. You see clearly. You can see. Okay. So this is how you can change it. So the previously we have discussed about the display, like removing from the memory, right? So if you click the into mark, the particular div will be get vanished. How can we achieve that one? Simple. Head dot style dot style dot display equal to none. So what will happen? If I click it, it is disappeared from my entire place. So removing the ad, removing the notification, removing the ad notification from the memory. You click it, you can see it is changed like this, right? And this is how the JavaScript works. So now what we're going to see is we're going to see about conditional statements. This is how the interaction is happening between JavaScript, DOM, and app. Okay. So now we look at the conditional statement. So what is conditional statement? Conditional statements are nothing but based on the condition, it will execute the code like a probability. If it is hit, then I need to bat. If it is tail, I need to bound. Right. So that is the like. That is what it is. Okay. Here I just going to create a condition. The condition statements are basically four types. One is if, another one is else, another one is if else, and finally we have switch statement. So right now we're not going to see the switch statement. We're going to discuss about if else, else. Okay. If else, this is what we're going to see. Let's see if statement. For writing condition statement, you need to write if. You need to tell what is the condition that you want to check. And here you need to tell what is the code that you want to execute when the condition is true. For example, I say 5 is greater than 6. Okay. And I asking in the console.log if 5 is greater than 6, then you need to run this code console.log true. If I run it, you can see no code is executed. Right? In console, I don't get anything. Why? Because 5 is not greater than true. So if I just give 59 is greater than 6, it is true. So we know that this will compare and returns a Boolean value. So if it is true, then this code will be executed. If it is not true, then this code will not execute. So what if it is not true, then I want to return something. So for that you can do else statement. So if it is true, then this block of code will be executed. Okay. If it is false, then this block of code will be executed. Okay. So that's the thing. So now what I'm going to do, I just going to write console.log. This is false. Now if I ask for it, you can see it is true. If I just remove 9, if I run it, you can see we are getting false. So based upon the condition we are checking, we are executing the code. Okay. So it depends upon the condition we are executing the code. So this is what conditional statement is. So what if you have multiple condition to check? Okay. What if you have a multiple condition to check? For example, I say let traffic color, traffic light, okay, equal to red. Okay. So if traffic light equal to red, then what I want to display? I just want to display stop. So what can I do? If, okay, if traffic light is triple equal to, so this will compare the value. Okay, red. Then what you need to do in the console.log, okay, I just want to say stop. And if I check it, you can see we are getting stop. Else, else console.log, I want to say unavailable. This is not making sense, right? This logic code is not making sense, right? Because traffic light has more than one color, and red, we have green, we have yellow, right? We have these kind of color, and I need to check for two more colors, multiple colors. So for that only, we are having the if else statement. Okay. So what you need to do is if you want to check multiple condition, then below the if statement you can write else if sorry sorry if else. Else if, okay. And here you can write your next condition. If the traffic light is triple equal to green, then what I want to do in the console.log, I just want to say go. Okay. Same like that, I need to write for yellow also. Else if the traffic light is triple equal to yellow, then in the console.log, I just want to say stop, go. Here I need to ready for stop. And if some other colors or any other input is given inside the light, then I want to say unavailable. Okay, unavailable. I just say unavailable simply. Okay, and I just ask for it. Now we are getting stop, and if I give green as my input, you can see we are getting go. And if I give yellow as my input, you can see we are getting ready. And if I give some other colors, you can see we are getting unavailable, right? So this is the functionality that we have created. Now with the help of this, we're going to do a lot more. So what I'm going to do, let us create a container. Let me remove this one. Okay. I'm just going to create a div. Okay. That is considered as a class of a container. Okay. And here then say dot container is equal to 1 pixel border, 1 pixel solid black. Okay. And I just going to say the width 50% and the height 120 pixel. Give them a border radius 50%. Go for 50 pixel. And let me make this as to okay. Let me make 100. Make this one also 120 pixel. Right. Okay. So yeah, we are getting around. So now what I want to do, when someone gives, like, depends upon what is the value that I am going to change here, it need to change the color of this container. So how can I write it? Simply remove this one, remove this one, and remove this one. For that, first we need to grab an element, right? And what is the event listener? Where is the event listener that I want to add? Here there is no event listener. Okay, so I need to just add it to only. So I just going to fetch the element first of all. I just going to say const container equal to, and it is a class. Let me give the ID also same because we don't see about how to fetch an element by using class. But it is the same process only. But we go with simplicity. Okay. Okay. Here I just going to fetch the container. and I just going to say container dot style dot background color equal to what is traffic light is containing, that is the color. What is traffic light contain? Okay, the color the traffic light contains, it should comes here. Okay, and I just going to copy the same code because I don't want to write it again and again. I just paste it here, and else simply and the default method, that is alert. Alert, please enter this the alert method. It will give some pop up. Okay, this is defaultly available. You can use it. Please enter valid color like this. Now you can see we are getting please enter valid color because it is an empty string. That is why. So every condition is failed. So this else statement is executing. Now I say okay, and if I say red, okay, so we are getting error for background color. Okay, so here we did simply container. We need to say document dot get element by ID and fetch the container. Now you can see we are getting red. And now if I change this to green, save it, you can see we are getting green, we are getting yellow, yeah. And if I give some other color, we are getting an invalid input, right? So this is fine. So now what I want to do, instead of changing here, I just going to add an input, okay? And I'm going to add a button. If someone enters the value there and if someone clicks the button, then I want to display it. How can I do it? So well, let me create an input tag and contain an input, okay? And here it is going to have a button, okay? And let me add btn equal to button, right? ID equal to btn, and here I just going to say ID equal to color, okay? So this is what it is. So first I need to fetch all these three elements, okay? Don't worry. First I want to fetch. Right now I just give a valid color red, just avoid from the pop-up, and I just going to give button like click click to change the traffic light. A pretty long button. Okay, like this. Okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do? First, let me grab this input box. I'm going to say const const. Okay, so const input box equal to document dot get element by ID, and the ID I given to that is a color. It is going to grab the color. Okay. So now what I want, I go here and I ask for input box. You can see fresh. You can see we are getting input ID type and everything, right? So actually what I want. So what is the user is entering here? Some color he going to enter. So I need that value. So how can I get it? So when you are fetching an element, you are not only fetching that particular element, you are also fetching the attributes of the element also. You can able to go and you can able to get the attributes. For example, if I ask for what is input ID in the console, you can able to see color. If I ask for what is input type of the input, we are getting text. Same like that, we have something called as value. So it will returns the value. Right now it is currently empty. No value is there. So it will returns the value of it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, this is the one that we want. Okay, not here. What I want to do is someone clicks it, then I need to take up the value from the input box. So I need to add an event listener to this button. So to adding an event listener, we know we have a like a normal way to add that one. So now I just going to add a different way with JavaScript only. So first I need to fetch the button. I'm just going to say const btn equal to document dot get element by id. I need to fetch the btn button. Okay. Now we fetched the button. So here itself we can able to add the event listener. Instead of going there and giving an on attribute and so much of things, here you can add it. So for which element you need to add an event listener? This button. So I just say btn dot. If you want to add an event listener, just say add event listener. Okay. And here it takes up this method will takes up two parameters. One is which event you're going to add. It is going to be click event. Second one is if the event is occurs, what is the function that you want to execute? The function I want to execute. The function I want to execute is I just want to fetch the input box and I need to fetch someone clicks the button, I need to fetch the value of the input box. So it is giving me an error at 148 line. Okay. Okay. I made a mistake. No. Yeah. So I need to fetch the value of the box. So I'm going to create another one that is going to be the value. I'm just going to say input box dot value. So this will takes up what the value is there once the button is clicked. Okay. For example, I'm just going to say console.log what is value. And now if I ask for hello, and if I click this one, you can see we are getting the value of hello. And you can notice that the value is still there. So I don't want that. So what I'm going to do in the end of the function, input box dot value, make it as an empty state. Once the execution is completed, remove whatever come inside, just remove it. So now if I add hello, and if I click it, you can see this here it is removed, but whatever the value that I want, I get it. So now what I'm going to do, whatever the value, so here we're going to get the value only. So here I just going to copy our entire code that we have right for our light, and here I just going to paste it here. And here instead of giving that one the red, green, and everything manually, here I just going to remove this red and I just going to paste this value. So whatever the value the user is going to give, based on that, here the color is going to be displayed. Okay. Now I'm going to save it. Now if I ask for red, okay, and if I click it, you can see we are getting red. If I give remove it, green, and you can notice that this is not automatically removing. So I just going to add input box dot value equal to an empty string. Okay. Now if I save it, if I put green, just click. You see we are getting green. So if I say like yellow, if I click it, we are getting yellow. If I give something like gray, what will happen? An alert will pop up. Invalid color input. Just give a proper color input. Right? You can able to see here, right? So this is what a small little project that we can able to achieve with JavaScript. And whatever that comes into handy that you can able to perform here. Okay. So whatever things that you want to do, you can perform here. So yeah, this is the normal case when it comes to here. Okay. So the one more basic concept that is left here is loops. Okay. So we have completed conditional statements, data types, the most common DOM operations, and where yeah. Mm. Variables completed, data types completed, functions completed, conditional statement completed, and DOM, basics of DOM completed. The only concept in basics that still remains that is going to be loops. Let me give a small glimpse about loops. Loops are nothing but if you want to execute a particular statement again and again, continuously for a repeated number of times, then you can use loops. For example, if I want to run my name for 10 times, okay, in the console. So what I want to do normally, I just want to write console.log. I want to say like this. I say it is one time. I just want to copy for each and every time, right? So it's okay. If I want to run the but same line of execute, if I want to run my name for around 1,000 times, what can I do? What can I do now? Can I copy and paste it again and again? No, right? So this is an example. Same like that, if you want to run a particular progress again and again, then you don't want to write it every like same code again and again in your code. That will literally a very bad writing program. Okay, when you are when you are repeating your code, there is a high possibility to get an error, and also it will takes more time when you have write something that is repeated a lot. Okay, then your page started to load a lot. Okay, so remember that also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a loop. Okay, so we have actually three loops. Is that we have for, we have while, and we have do while. Okay, okay. Let me discuss about for loop first. So for creating for loop, the keyword is you need to use for, and it takes three parameters and what is the code to execute. Okay, it takes up three parameters and what is the code to execute. And here the first parameter is going to be the initiation, where to start. Okay, and the second parameter is going to be a condition. So if the condition is true, then only the loop will be executed. Okay, if the condition is false, then the loop will be stopped. Okay, so then finally we need an increment or decrement operator. Why this needed is the only condition that you need to, the only terms, rules that you want to look into when it comes to and loop creation, you should create an finite loop. Okay, here you can see I mentioned 10 times. Then whatever the code that I'm writing inside this loop, it should execute only 10 times. If you don't make, like with the help of all the three methods, you can able to create a loop that should be finite. At some point of time, it should be stopped, right? So we need to create a loop like that. If we created some infinite kind of loop, then what will happen means it started to run in, like it started to run again and again in your browser, and your browser started to hang. Okay, that's what happened. So that is why I'll be going to remove this for, and where I want to start. I'm just going to say let I equal to 0. I created a variable. I just mentioned I value is 0. This is initiation. And I'm going to give a condition. I value is less than 10. If the value of I is less than 10, then I want to execute the code. What is the code that I want to execute? Console.log. And the code I want to execute is the name of me. Okay. So now tell me, now anyone tell me whether this code is a finite loop or infinite loop. You can see for loop, it is going to have initiation, it is going to start 0, and I don't give the third parameter. 0 is less than 10. So how, like if it is true, the code will be executed and the loop will keeps on going, and it will going to execute. So whether it is a finite loop or infinite loop, can anyone tell whether it is a finite loop or an infinite loop? Let me show you again. You can see I value is 0, and if the I value is less than 10, okay, if the condition is true, the loop will keeps on go and execute. It is a finite loop. How? Finite loop means it need to be stopped at some point of time, right? But here, where it is going to stop? You can see let I equal to 0. I'm checking I value is less than 10. Okay, I value is less than 10, then 0 is less than 10. True, the code will execute. Again, if it will go, I value is less than 0, I value is equal to 0, I value is less than 10, right? So then the code will execute. So this process is going to keep again and again and again and again. It is going to keep on until I value reaches 10. Whether I value is reached 10, Yes, no increment operator is there. So that's why it is an infinite loop. So why we are need an increment operator? Because I need to make the condition false. If the condition is false, okay, if the condition is false, then what would happen? This loop will be stop its execution. Okay. So what is the accurate condition I can able to give here is every time the loop runs, I need to increase the value of I. Okay. Every time the loop is going to run, every time the loop is going to run, I just want to increment the value of I. So what can I do for that? Well, simple. Here you can mention I plus plus. I plus plus. So what is this plus plus means? I plus plus is nothing but it is a like a post incremental. So this is the code for it. For example, now look into the code. Let I equal to 0 is the initiation. I value, what is the value of I? 0. 0 less than 10, true. The code will be executed. Then it will move for the third parameter. So here I say I plus plus. So what is the I plus plus will do? It will increment the value of I by one time. It is going to add plus one. That's what it is. And it is going to add, increase the value by one time. So now I value is increased to 1. Now I check for it. 1 is less than 10. True. So the code will be executed. So 2 times Harry will be printed and it will be go for the next. This is going to be increase the value again plus 1. So 1 plus 1, we're going to get 2. So likewise, it is go and repeat again and again and again and again. When it reaches 9, 9 less than 10, true, and the code will be executed, and it comes, it reaches 10, and 10, 10 will be less than 10, false. So now it is a finite loop. So how many times it will be printed the code? So starts from 0 to 9. So totally it's going to be 10 times it will be printed in my browser. Let me check it here. You can see we get this 10 times, right? I think you can able to see here, right? 10 times it is printed. So we are going to get that, right? If I want it for 1000, then I just want to increase it for 1000. I just save it. You can see every how many times the loop is running. You can able to see it, right? If I just remove this again, and if I save again, you can see starts from 1, the loop is running for 1000 times continuously. So if we are not make a finite loop, then the loop will keeps on goes and running, and it will go and stops your browser. Okay, so that's what happened. So this is what loops is. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so this is what loops is, and each and this is the one loop, and we have so much of loop. We have while, we have do while, we have for off, we have for in, and those all are also considered as loop. So, but if you are getting started, this is more than fine. And while loop is also exactly the same thing, but the flow is well structured. For example, here let I equal to 0, right? In while loop, how we can write the same thing in while loop means in for loop there is a problem is the execution and the weird syntax. You can see we are giving not comma, we will give semicolons to separate each and every parameters, right? For here, check, and then go here like that. So instead of that, what can I do? It is I can simply say I can say instead of writing for let I equal to 0, I is less than 100 like that. I just simply say let I equal to 0. Okay. Here I create a while loop, and here I can check the condition I value is less than 10, and then what is the code I want to execute, and then I want to increase the value. So you can see it is well structured instead of zigzag flow. It is just initiation, condition, execution, checking the condition. If I save it, you can see it will be over. Okay, it is well more structured. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, I hope. And we have do while also, that is an exit control loop. It will execute first and then check for a condition. That we will discuss later. Okay, so that's all for about JS. Okay. Let me just give a minute. Okay, let me share you an attendance form. Just give me a minute. And if you have any doubts right now, you can ask me in this time. Yeah. So the attendance will be shared in the chat box. So once you fill in your attendance, just tell your name in the chat box. I will cross check. Okay. So inform me once you are done. So the no link. Just a minute. Why the link is not sharing? Just a minute, guys. I will share it in the YouTube. So the structure is for JavaScript. First, the fundamentals, like what we have seen today. That is the basic structure and fundamentals. There are a lot more to cover also. Okay, so fundamentals. Second one is DOM. So now you can, I think, probably you can be able to see the link, check the link and fill the form. Okay, and second is DOM operation. So there are around 12 to 15 methods are there, most commonly used methods, and that you can follow. And after that, you can learn further the available method. And once you done with that, then jump into ES6. So ES6 is modern JavaScript. The syntax and methods are way different compared to the old one. So we can jump into that. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So then you can jump into ES6. So ES6 is all about modern JavaScript. Is a version of JavaScript introduced after 2016. So the let and const and those things are introduced after that only. So you need to learn that one because if you want to understand, like if you want to learn the frameworks, libraries, the right now trends, whatever you want to learn, everything in the syntax of ES6. So if you learn ES6, then you can able to learn React, Angular, probably everything. Okay. So you can just want to learn that one. And once you're done with that, go for React and complete the front end. And after completing that, recommended is go for asynchronous of JavaScript. Okay. So this is a structure: basics, DOM, and then ES6, React, and then go for asynchronous, and then go for Node.js. That is the entire full stack path. Okay. So it will be that. That is now. And then after completing all the things, go for core concepts like principal concepts, object-oriented programming language, function-oriented programming language, closures, currying, like those methods are available. You can learn that pretty later. Okay, you can use those ones. And once you filled it the form, just tell your name in the chat box. Okay. Okay, guys, I think most of them filled it there. And thank you for attending this today's workshop. I think most, if you are completely new here, you will get some insight how the entire web work and everything will work, and you will get it. And if you really feel like this 4 hours is really worth for you, and just give a like and subscribe to the channel. Okay. And if you want to further communicate with us, and if you want to know about further things, what is happening in TWD, you can just connect with us in LinkedIn. You can just take a screenshot and post it in the LinkedIn, and we will communicate it through LinkedIn. And also, you can personally communicate through in LinkedIn. We will personally activate that. And that's all for today's. And like every week off, we will conduct, except Sunday, all the days we will conduct a live class. Okay. We completed React 4 days live class this month. We completed JavaScript 4 days live class this month. We completed, I think, a project completion in HTML CSS is also completed this month. The entire full stack, whatever you want to learn in live, you can ask the doubts in live. And here you can just come join the live and you can ask the doubts. We will just help you that. And just give a like and subscribe. That means a lot for us. Thank you. Thank you all. Sorry, guys, I haven't read your comment because in here the comment is not loading. Sorry for that. Kanamadi like this. Thank you, thank you. Shri Charan, can you suggest where I can learn free and get certificate? So learning free is everything. Like you can learn it in the YouTube itself. Okay, so that is also fine, and you can able to feel the structure. If you want to teach it every tech stack, there is a 4 days of workshop here in our YouTube channel is also that you can check it out. That okay. Repeat up the roadmap of web development. So the roadmap of development is very simple. First, you want to learn the HTML and CSS to understand the basic structures and how it is working. Then, when it comes to JavaScript, you want to learn the basics. Okay, so the foundation concepts. It is common in all the programming language. Okay, variables, data types, loops, functions, iteration. Those concepts you want to learn. Once you completed that, learn about DOM operation because that DOM operation is only the which is going to help you for connect with your JavaScript with your front end. Okay, and that's one. Once that is completed, okay, so basics, DOM. Once that is completed, go for ES6. Okay, what is ES6 is? ES6 is a way of writing language, like it is an updated version of JavaScript where you will find a lot more important method and also a lot of syntax changes will be there. And if you want to learn that, and once you learn ES6, then you can able to understand React. Okay, before ES6 you cannot understand React. Without learning ES6 you cannot understand React because every syntax is written in React as ES6. Okay, you just want to learn ES6, then jump for React. And once you completed React and learn about asynchronous of JavaScript, okay, you are not able to complete React, but you can able to somehow create something in React. Okay, so in the middle of the React, learn the asynchronous of JavaScript. So asynchronous of JavaScript is a like by default JavaScript is a synchronous language. We can able to make the JavaScript much more faster than it is. So that is what asynchronous is. So once you're done with that, then probably you can able to connect your backend with your front end, apply API creation and all those things you can able to learn. Then jump into Node.js. Okay. When it comes to Node.js, learn Node.js, learn Express. That's well and good. And once in that, run a template like any template engines. Completed that one. So basically, backend part is pretty. We want to learn so much of things. So once you completed these kind of structures, then jump into the Node.js and started to learn and just work with your front end. Okay, this was the front end roadmap. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think you hope you will get it.